after that gruesome reconstruction. But hey, I'm not complaining. Once your brand new arm's complete, you'll be able to sucker punch people into orbit, baby. Now, if all this sounds a little strange to you, it's probably because I've started removing your memories. I know. A tad extreme, but that's just how I roll. Can't let you keep that pesky free will of yours, can we? Okay, bye now.
Installation complete. This was a rather unfortunate turn of events, although you no longer remember said events. Stand by. Initialize kinetic weapon system. It would seem that you have a much greater role to play, Skylar. Let's get you out of here. First things first, are you able to walk?
Apologising for the crunchiness, Benji, if you're all on early. Yeah, I am, mate. I'm sat here bored shitless. I am absolutely bored shitless. I've had a sleep this afternoon that's made me feel like shit. And I've thought, I'm eating hula hoop puffs. Not your standard hula hoop. The one that's got a bit of puff in it, but they're lovely. Hi, James. I've nearly done with them, so apologies. Give me 2 minutes. My fish is having a spaz. Okay. Yep, it is. Hula hoop puffs, we are. They got actually. I had to buy these. My favourite's a hula hoop puffs beef flavour. My favourite normal hula hoop is just beef, and I've been buying the puffed up version. They're really nice. So, oh, you're not hooked on Elder Scrolls again? Have you got the Morrowind? Has that kicked in yet? I tested this game on the screen about 20 minutes ago to see if it would be a decent streamable game. It's not bad. It's a total poor man's oh god, what's the big game? The big cartoony game. I am getting old, I really am. Not Jack and Daxter, the other one. Ratchet and Clank just come to me. This is basically a poor man's Ratchet and Clank. Well, I just did the intro 20 minutes ago and I thought I'll start streaming and do this. Bit early, I know I'll probably not get many in the room yet. No way. God, honestly, I don't think... I'll tell you what, thinking about it, Benji, I have not finished many games on the 3DS at all. At all. What was it? This game, by the way, controlled really comfortably and looked pretty decent, but it really is, when you see this, it's such a rip-off of Ratchet and Clank. But not a bad thing. What time is it, by the way? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 7:20 p.m.
Oh, it's 20 past 7. Kirby Triple Deluxe, holy god. I don't think I've played more than about an hour of a Kirby game. There's nothing wrong with the 3DS, James, I'll tell you now, mate. Nothing at all. Some good games on it. Let's move on. Yeah, why? Can you hear the fan? I stuck the fan on low. I fell asleep in this exact position about an hour ago. I was catching up on some TV and I just dropped off. And I fell asleep for about 2 hours and I felt so shitty when I woke up. Really shit. And yeah, I felt hot. I have got them picking up my coffee machine tomorrow, and I've ordered another one on Amazon this time, albeit a third-party seller, because for some reason the Amazon price of said coffee maker is like 40 quid more than other people selling it, and I'm like, it's the same thing. So the other one's being picked up tomorrow. And I realised about half an hour ago, I saw it said it's going to be delivered Thursday, and I thought, yeah, brilliant. But it's Thursday the 8th of June. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's next Thursday. And I'm nearly run out of instant coffee. And the world will end if I have no coffee in this house, I can tell you now. But I'll tell you what is something's bugging me, and there's only 4 in the room, so something's bothering me. I mentioned it, you might have heard me touch on it last night. Said I've got a bit of a sore throat. Well, I've looked in my mouth this afternoon because it was really starting to piss me off. And right at the back of my mouth, at the top, I've got a massive, mouth ulcer. And it's killing me. It's in the shittiest place possible. Like when I close my mouth. And I don't know if I used to suffer badly from mouth ulcers many, many years ago. Went for tests, went for hospital tests and everything. Because I used to basically get, in my early 20s, I used to get, no word of a lie, full-blown mouth ulcers, like 3-4 a week. And my life was becoming an absolute misery. And I'm not joking. You guys have probably had a mouth ulcer if you've burnt your mouth or you've bit your lip. And it's turned into a bit of a white ulcer that is an absolute killer. Well, you picture having like 3 and 4 of them every week, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And in the end, they figured out it was stress-related. Because they thought it was dental hygiene at first. Because in my early young days, in my teens, I wasn't the best hygiene at dental. I was very rarely brushed my teeth. I know it's disgusting now. But they originally thought it was dental, that, you're not brushing your teeth. Well, I changed all that and I still kept getting them. And it was stress related. I went to see somebody about it, and apparently it was all from stress, depression and all that shit. I never knew that even existed. But sure enough, when things changed in my life, it's... Funny thing is, actually, I've nearly run out of painkillers, and I need to really slow down. I've got 8 left that's got to last me till the end of this week, and that will be the end of the world. But this is pissing me off. I haven't had an ulcer in my mouth for a while, but I think I know what's caused it. I think it might be a burn from some food a couple of nights ago, and then what I did, because it was irritating me the other day, I actually put my finger in my mouth and had a real good poke round and a squeeze and a feel, and I think it's made a right mess of it. But it's killing me to such an extent it's giving me headaches. And that's kind of why I'm streaming tonight, to try and get my mind off it. Because I'm literally sat here in agony. So, anyway, I might as well sit in this room for a bit before starting this game, because it looks quite cool. I might as well wait 20 minutes, half hour till normal people arrive. Been enjoying my new phone today. Been messing about, getting wallpapers and checking out. There's one thing I am intrigued. I don't think, and none of you have got a Galaxy, have you? I'm really intrigued at when it's off and it's got the clock on the front, and it pops up the notifications like emails or Twitter, and you can see the icon. I want to know if it's possible for me to access them. And it's like, oh right, James, you might be able to help me then. You know when it's off and you've got the clock on the screen, and then you get your notifications and it like shows your email or your Twitter. Is the only way to get to them by just unlocking your phone normally, like fingerprint and then notifications and all that? Or is there a way to like access them from the front of the screen? And I've also, and another weird thing that I think I'm missing a setting, I've got that clock on when the thing's off, but then when I touch the phone to switch it on, it shows you the lock screen, because I changed my wallpaper of my lock screen, but that lock screen stays on for literally half a second, because I go button, fingerprint, phone. But then when I go button, it goes button, lock screen, phone, so that lock screen's pointless. Is there a way of having that lock screen on instead of the clock thing or whatever? Or, I don't know, like I say, I'm all new to it. It's all pissing about and messing about. Just going to read a message that somebody has left me. I think you should still be able to hear me. In fact, I've got quite a few. Right, really good message from somebody. That's really good message. What do you mean, like you don't know what I'm getting at? Let me try and rephrase it. Right, you know when your phone's not being used, it's sat by your side, it's off. Mine's got the clock on the front. It like tells you the time, on all the time it is. And then whenever you hear it beep or get a notification, just below that clock, it's like shows a Twitter emblem for a tweet or a mail for my email. And then what I'd like to do is access them quickly, like see them, see what the tweet is or see what the thing is. Oh, right, sorry, mate. It's probably because I went off into the messages then. I do apologise. But you get what I mean. It looks like nobody's interested in watching a stream at this time of day. Note to self. Double tap the icon on the clock. So when it's on the dark clock screen, I can just tap and it'll open up. I'm actually just trying the fast charge for the first time as well. On the S8 you can double tap the icons. Right, okay, I'll try it when it's charged up. This bloody thing in my mouth's killing me. Dark clock screen, double tap the icons. Yeah, that's what I'm wanting to do. So just replying to one of our listeners, the guy in New Mexico. Another person getting into 3D printing. Oh, yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, my coffee machine at I've ordered today. Hopefully that one doesn't fail this time. But it's going to be a week away, I think. I've also ordered a better phone case for my S7. I've gone for a really nice rugged one. Not a Spigen case. I know everybody was recommending the Spigen cases. But I've gone for one that was really high rated on Amazon. Also, Mr. Parrot, who comes in the room a lot, he's just asked me about Date 4 that's coming out next week. And I have completely got my games muddled up because I'd not really got that on my radar. I wasn't too into the last Date Rally that came on because I thought it was like one of the hardest games in the bloody world, to be fair. But I'd completely stupid until he mentioned it to me tonight that it's a date game. It's a driving game. It's not Date Rally. So I've completely missed the ball on this one. So I'm heading to try and get a review and try and pick it up because I'd completely not realised what it was. So I'm quite looking forward to taking a look at it now. It's actually, yeah, I'm going to try and get one. I've just asked them this afternoon to see if I can get one. It might be a bit late though. Reviews are a bit weird. It's a very fine line, reviews is. And I'll give you a bit of an insight to it. You'd think to yourself, well, start asking for reviews way back. Yeah, James, you know my feelings on that, mate, as well. That totally ruined the later versions of that game. Every new version of that game, I played it right up to all that bullshit and then stopped. You're like me, you love these games, I love them as well. I've not seen it. I've seen a video on YouTube today, but I actually started watching it and then got distracted about the never-ending... There's apparently a never-ending mode, which I don't quite get, but there's a video on YouTube where it says explaining the never-ending mode on Date 4, which I want to see because I'm interested. In fact, I'll watch it tonight. Because what I might do, if I don't get a review, I might buy it. But if I buy it, I'm not buying Wipeout at the same time. I know the two. It's not the point that they're both similar. It's money oriented. I'm really short this month, really short. So I only can get one of them if I've got to get one for the show. So I'm undecided yet, and I should decide tonight when I've had a look at it on YouTube. But as regarding reviews, going back to what's weird and what's strange, you guys might think, well, if you chuck a load of reviews requests in early, like say, I don't know, say like, let's pick Destiny 2. I won't get a review for Destiny 2 either, that's not even on the cards. But say I would have been applying for one, you guys would probably think, well, yeah, chuck your request in now because you're months away. That actually works against you. So it's like a fine line. Leave it too late, you'll miss out. Do it too early, it just gets chucked in a file somewhere and gets ignored. So it's always been about timing it spot on. Like, Date 4 could be a little bit too late. It might be just right, I don't know. Because it's that fine line of getting in at the right time. So, it is. That's why it's so hit and miss. With review requests. And sometimes you're lucky, you get people asking you if you want to review. And obviously, but I will say this, and this is no... Because we ain't no GameSpot, are we? And we ain't no IGN. That when we get asked if we want to review, it's for a very, very small or indie type game. It's never for like, oh, Bungie have asked you, do you want Destiny 2? You never get that. And that's just purely down to numbers, to be fair. The 3D print emails I get through, I must admit, there's a section that comes through every month. and it's on again today. And the section this time is museum pieces, and it's like marble statues, like, you know, you see in like museums, like they've got no arms and shit, all that. Them like busts and sculptures and shit. Apparently that's becoming a bit of a big thing on 3D printing places at the minute. And I've got to say, I'm looking at a few now, and I've always been intrigued to see how they'd come out, because they'd kind of make nice like ornaments and stuff. I mean, there's one here of an Egyptian cat that somebody's printed and painted, and that looks phenomenal. But then most of them are like the Abyss or Robin Jeffries, famous people, or a female torso. Like this female torso is a female torso on a rock, no arms, no head. You know how it all was arty-farty. But it looks really cool. And I'm just wondering how the printer would handle it. I might actually try one of them. I've started my gun off yesterday, by the way, that we was talking about. Oh, I've left the piece in the kitchen. Boy, did that print well last night. That printer's not been on for like 3-4 weeks. And I literally just switched it on, changed the filament out, ran out of filament. I've got some coming tomorrow. Put the first piece of gun in. It printed it, and shit, it come out fantastic. That printer is brilliant, I'm telling you. Don't give me all these open source shit and all these other ones. That one, for a 200 quid printer, no pissing about, has given me some amazing models. Really has. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm printing Star-Lord's gun. The one that looks like a double-barreled handheld pistol thing. Seen some good paint jobs of it as well. So I'm going to make a good job of this one again. I'm going to print it all off, sand it for about a bloody week. Sanding's like the bane of 3D printing. So you sand it. You see, and this is the thing, I've probably said this before, but it's an interesting fact. When you've got your 3D prints, the reason you sand them is you sand the fine lines off, because 3D printers print in layers. The finer the number, the finer the layer, the less printing you do. But the payoff for that is, the finer you do it, the more filament you use. So it's kind of, you've got 3 settings on my printer: 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. 95% of stuff I print on it will be 0.2. And then you pick the infill, and the infill's about how dense you want it. Never go above 15% unless in, I'll give you an example, I printed some brackets. I printed some brackets for my coffee table because it was loose. Now I printed them at 80% infill because you want them to be strong. So but when you're printing models and stuff, you can get away with 10-15%. But when you're printing something like, as an example, this Star-Lord gun, there's some pieces that's like the holster, the handle isn't very detailed, so you'd print that in 0.2. You wouldn't get anything out of it. But like the side of the gun that's got all the detail and the machinery, you'd print that in 0.1. Yes, you'd use more filament, but it prints it really accurate, so you get the finer detail. And then when you've finished all the prints, you then decide about your sanding. And sanding, you can either sand it lightly and just be a bit of a crappy job, but if you want to make a real good job of it, you then sit and sand it for as long as you can. There's a famous saying in the 3D printing world: you can never sand it too much, because the more you sand it, that's when they come out shiny. And sand, it is a real ball ache though, I can't tell you. So if I want this gun to come out, because it's going to look metallic as well, because there's some silver and gold in it. When you're going for metallic looks, that's when you've really got to concentrate on the sanding. Because if you leave it layered and then put primer on and put some paint on, you'll still see the layer lines. It looks a bit shit. But if you really sand it and then you do your grits, like you start off at 60, get the top layer off, and you go up to 120, then to 240, then even higher if you want, and it's really weird to look. I've never understood sanding. My brother's always explained this because he's a wood turner. In his spare time, he does some beautiful wood turning work. And I once got talking to him about sanding, and I never understood that when you went from the low grit, which is thick and takes the top off, when you like higher it, you get that. But when you like get to 200, 300, it's like, I always sat there and think, well, what good's this doing? Because it literally is like fucking, there's nothing on it. But I can't explain to you how amazing it actually is. Like you'll sand with 60 to take the top off, then you'll go to 80, then you go to 120, and every time you go to like 120 you start noticing a difference, and you'll rub your hand over it, and you can really notice, like, the best way to notice if you go from a rough bit to then one you've just done at 120, and it's like, Jesus. Then you go to 200, and I'm thinking, this is not doing anything. But you sit sanding that at 200 for like half an hour, and then when you've done, and the difference, by the way, because I once did a test, I got 2 pieces, sanded one, didn't sand another one, and I laid primer on them both, and as soon as I'd put primer on it, it was crazy different. Like, the one that's been sanded was like glass. The one that hadn't was just all, like, layered and horrible. And it's the same piece of stuff. So, yes, it's a pain in the ass, but it looks really cool. Right, I'll start playing a bit of this game in a minute. It don't look like... what time is it? 8:15. People usually come on about now, don't they? So I'll give it 5 or 10 minutes. I'll tell you what, I'll give it till 8 o'clock. About 15 minutes, and I'll start playing some game. Yeah, a couple of people are messaging me about the Champions League final on YouTube. Again, being pushed out in 4K and on VR, apparently. Well, I'm not bothered about the VR, because that'll be just, like I said, that'll be just like a camera. It won't be nothing special. But I'm sure we can't get the 4K. Me and Ricky was talking about it. I think I mentioned it on the show as well. We both was on YouTube the other night for the Man United game, because it was going to be in 4K. We couldn't find it anywhere on YouTube at 4K, but it was on the BT channel, where they said you'd got to be, and it was just coming through at normal HD. It wasn't coming through at, what's it? And by the way, today, after being recommended in the room... where the bloody hell's that just appeared from? Somebody said go and check the HDR clips in YouTube. I think it was Nicky Wilson. And I actually did it this morning with my coffee. I sat with my coffee. I was on YouTube catching up on my subscription stuff, and I thought, oh, let me try that HDR thing. So I typed HDR in the title, and of course you get all the landscapes and the worlds, and I think the first one that popped up was around the world 4K/HDR, and I'll put it on, and holy shit, that was one of the best videos I'd ever seen on this telly or the other one. It was purely, I've never seen a picture that looked like you was really there. It was, in fact, it was that good I watched it twice. And it was amazing, honestly. And then I watched a couple more, one around Peru, that was nice, then one on wildlife. And what's cool about my telly, where the other one, I had to mostly, if I wanted HDR to work, I had to physically go into settings and change it. It was very poor or auto switching. But this TV, you know straight away whether you've put a film on or a clip on, because the HD sign pops up in the right hand corner. So as a pointer, I was watching some of the YouTubes and I clicked them that said there was HDR, but that thing didn't come in the top corner, so I knew it wasn't. And then I did click a couple more, and as soon as one come up, that thing come up. As soon as that comes up, I know it's right. But the difference is amazing. I've just found my mobile phone little pin. You know the little pin that you get the SIM card at, the SIM card tray at. I actually used it yesterday to set my phone up, and then I lost it. No idea where it had gone. You know how small they are. I shit you not, I've just looked down and it's sat in the middle of my leg. Just sat there on my leg. I think it's fell out my iPad case. I think it must have got lodged behind it. So, anyway, I found it. Ah, okay. 10 minutes before I start playing this, guys. So it's looking like, looking at that mini-map, you've got things to collect. By the way, even though we haven't got many in the room, a lot of people left the room last night when I was starting to play that Smash game, car game. Well, for the last hour of the show, I actually started playing it, and a lot of people had already left, and it got really good. You know, when I was on it and I got stuck and I couldn't get by it, and I just sat in the room and chatted. Well, for the last hour of that stream, you want to go back and catch it because it was really cool. It was a good game, and I was getting the hang of it, and I got like through 7-8 levels, and it got really difficult, but it was really good. Way better than everybody thought at the beginning. I think a couple of people even said they was going off to buy it, so it's worth you looking at the stream again. Definitely. I even ate a lot earlier today as well. I ate at about 2:30, which is really early for me. I usually eat about 5-6 o'clock, and that's why I stream about 7, 8. But I'd eat sacrilege as well. I actually didn't eat it all. One of my favourite little things that I cook, I like hot dogs. And I'd done hot dogs and onions, and I ended up leaving half of it. Just didn't feel like eating it. Probably because I'd ate too early. Is it June the 1st tomorrow? I do believe it is it not? Yes, it is. Looking at the calendar on the front of my iPad. Bit of a piece being going around the internet about how a Sony executive has called the 2011 PlayStation hack, and I quote, a baptism by fire, and it was a necessary evil. So apparently they must have learnt a great deal about it, which is pretty self-explanatory, because you do, don't you? You do. You actually learn a hell of a lot from things like that. I know it's shitty and stuff, but you do. I know I must have been bored earlier, by the way. When will YouTube bring out a 4K app for consoles? I don't know. Do you know what I think I've heard, Perry? I think that don't quote me on this, but I think there is one coming. I know that I always quote to my listeners, and on my show I always say if you want to test your 4K, you always go through your smart TV because it's directly wired. But there's no excuse why it shouldn't work now, because your PlayStation's, mine's wired to the Ethernet, so it's on the same network. There's no reason why it shouldn't do it, especially on the Pro. But there is a difference, a massive difference. You're struggling to find any games, James? I've got to say, I think my big ones coming up will be Everybody's Golf. I'm bursting at the seams for that one. I'm quite looking forward to Wipeout, although I only can see that as a quick fix, to be fair. E3 is going to be the big thing, isn't it, though, in a week and a half. We're all getting stupidly excited about that, or I am. Another rumour. I had to start playing the Bananarama clip in the background, didn't I? I've heard a rumour. That's too old for you lot. Another rumour flying about today, and I'm going to ask you guys in the room, probably ask it again when there's a few more in. Let me ask you this. There's a big rumour flying around that Sony are finally, and it's tied to this 4.70, because the rumour is they're going to go to 5.0 firmware at E3. they've got some shit lined up. But the biggie, and I want to ask you guys, how big would you actually see this as a E3 moment? And I've thought about this. There's big rumours flying about that they are finally, fanfare music, they're going to let us change his names. That's flying around, that they are finally going to give... I wish it was 12 for me. You do know it then, Perry. So the point is, there's big rumours flying that Sony are finally going to bring 5.0 firmware and let us change his names. Now, let me throw it out to the room. Not a lot in yet, of course, but would you class that as a E3 moment? Because I think I would. I know it's not very big and it's not very, gigantic, but I think if they dropped that one, I think that'd go down as a really good E3 moment. I really do. I think it'd get a lot of people excited. And I've even been contemplating, by the way, because I think it's coming. There's a few things been flying around on Twitter from big Sony execs having a joke and a laugh. And the big one I saw about a month ago, and this is kind of a clue, that one of the biggest execs kind of did a really good, funny, taking the piss tweet about, don't worry, we'll never let you change your names. And I thought that was a really bit weird and strange to come out of the blue. But as I say, it's the kind of rumour it's going to happen. I've actually contemplated it, and I wouldn't know what I'd change it to. I mean, my shitty PS4 name, everybody who listens to the show probably knows, mine comes from when I very first got my very first PS3, I think, way back. I just set it up because it's the beginning of one of my emails. Because I was no idea, and we're all wet behind the ears and no idea. I think it's coming, Perry. Hang on to your hat, mate. I'm going to tell you now. It's coming. It's coming, I think. But I don't know what I'll do. My idea is this. Do I change it to Cranky Gamers? Do I change it to Cranky Gamers UK? Or do I change it to Cranky Toz, which is the beginning of my email that's linked to the show? I don't know. I do not know. It's interesting. I think I'll probably go for one of the Cranky Gamers ones, I think. Yeah, I think I will. I think I will. Are both Xbox and PS the same? Regarding what? On the name change, Perry? You can change your name on Xbox now. My PS name is Cranky toz6666's. You get lost, Benji. Ah, dear. Do you think they'll charge us? What about that one? Let's take it for granted they're going to come on the stage and say you can change your name. Cranky Toz, it's a bit more personal, but still has the attachment to the show. Yeah, it does, James. You're right, mate. Plus, it's the beginning of the crankytoz@gmail.com, so that could actually be a better one, I think. Do you think they'll charge us for it? Because if I'm not mistaken, doesn't the Xbox, and I might be wrong at this, the Xbox, I think, didn't they used to let you have a free one and then charge your Microsoft points for every other one? But I think they charge now. I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you because I've never even attempted it and I ain't got an Xbox to try it. But let me ask you this. Do you think Sony would charge you, or do you think they'd give you a free one? I honestly believe, I'd like to believe, yeah, is that on the Xbox, Benji? I think it is. Iceman, you're wasting your time, mate, asking for people to go and subscribe, because I don't take spam like that. It's great you've got a channel, whatever, thanks, brilliant. Xbox allows one free, then it's a charge. Yeah, I thought it was. I've got a feeling that Sony might let you change the first one for free, and then have it as a small charge after that. I hope it's true, because I think it'll be a big moment at E3. I think everybody will get giggly and excited when it's announced, and it'll be on Twitter. Oh my God, you can change your name on PlayStation and all that shit. You can just see it, can't you? You can just see Twitter lighting up. Well, actually you won't, because probably half of you will be in bed. Because you're not as mad as me that stays up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch it live. It's one of my most exciting parts. Although I think Benji will be okay, because he's in the good old US of A. So I'll be up at 2 o'clock in the morning with my little iPad sat typing the notes. You have to, yeah, I do agree, Perry, yeah, I agree, because the infrastructure of it, and I think Sony have always touched on the fact that the infrastructure of changing name, it's not as easy as people actually think, and I do kind of get, I kind of get the way they're coming from, and they have got to charge, because like you say, it just screws up the infrastructure. I think Xbox has also got a system in place, haven't they, where there's a randomizer that lets you pick a name. I've had to play with the old randomizer back in the day. I don't know if that's even still there, and it lets you do that. But also on the Xbox, I think, don't they have a policy if they actually bring names back? If somebody changed the name, the one that's changed stays in lieu for about 6 months, and then it gets back to the ether. Pretty sure. It's like 9 PM for me. I'll probably watch Giant Bomb stream. I'll just probably go on YouTube Live, I think. I must admit, I always go for IGN, or I used to. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, and I don't know what you guys do, but we all know that when all the things have done, like the keynotes are like the tip of the iceberg. Because I don't know if you guys do this, because obviously I've got the show to do as well, so I like to try and get a lot of information before we record. What I do, I love GameSpot's coverage after, you know, the stage show that they do, where they have all guests on, and after the keynotes, where they come on and talk to them about the game and tell us a lot more about it. I love having them on, and I can tell you now, from Sunday night onwards, YouTube will be on, and I'll be just live watching it all the bloody time. I will. Can't wait. It is actually getting really exciting now, because it's only like a week away, a week and a half, and I am buzzing. Can't wait. Let's throw some questions out quickly. How many in the room think Microsoft will announce the price and date of the Scorpio at E3? I, for one, don't think they will. Because it's you've got to think, Perry, it's in the US. So in the US, it's always been the same. It's never been different. It's always been 1 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in Britain, in Europe, for the simple reason it's America, isn't it? It's in California. You know, I couldn't even tell you where it's at. Benji, you're the USA man. Where's it held? Enlighten us all. I've got a question, Benji, as well. Is it not shown on mainstream TV at all? Is it? Did he? I think they once put one of them on mainstream TV one year, didn't they? But you guys have got that many channels. Surely there's some. Can't you get it on your TV? Because I've got to admit, it's in LA, is it? Nice holiday then, is it? Let's all pack off to LA. So, wouldn't it pay to be on the TV? Yeah, Microsoft though. Microsoft are normally 6 PM. The thing is though, Perry, what you got to realise, Microsoft are very famous for doing it in the morning in America. They've always been 10 a.m. in the morning, because they always, I don't know why they do it 10 a.m. in the morning, they just have done, but now they've moved it a day forward. Yeah, it's California, so that's 6 p.m. for them, 9 p.m. for you. I've never seen it on TV. G4, that's the one, Benji. G4 used to have it, I remember. I used to like G4. I used to like old Adam on there, he was a good guy, I liked him. I'm going to tell you a funny story about some videos I've seen this morning, just totally changing the way we're talking, because it's linked to America. Sat trolling YouTube again all over, and I watched, I found a clip, as you do, just farting about, and it was a clip of a famous American woman on TV that I'd never heard of, and she was on Craig Fairbrass's show, who's now packed in his... It's not the Late Late Show he did it? Craig Fairbrass, very famous Scottish man over here, comedian, mad as a box of frogs. Now, the point is, this woman who it was, I'd never heard of and never seen her, and I saw it because I saw her face on the picture, and I thought, oh, she looks a very attractive woman. Never heard of her, never seen her. Sat and watched 40 minutes of videos of this woman on Craig Fairbrass. Holy shit. One of the most attractive women I think I've ever seen. Carrie Keegan. Now, Albert and Benji probably will now tell me who Carrie Keegan is, but holy shit, if you've not heard of her in this country, go and put Carrie Keegan into YouTube. Holy shit. Have you seen how much floor space? I haven't, John. No, I haven't. Oh, here we go. Sony's got 43,000 square feet, Nintendo 32,000 square feet, and Microsoft, it's gone off a bit, 174. Is that 17, or is that 100? The numbers, just put the Microsoft one again, John, because it's like gone, it's stupid on this chat and I'm thick. But yeah, Carrie Keegan, you Americans, tell me who Carrie Keegan is. What does she do? I was just intrigued at seeing her on this video this afternoon. And we'll come back to talking about games now. But shit, she was a good-looking woman. 17, is that all? Don't forget, though, are you talking floor space at E3 or the place where they're doing the keynote? Because Sony are doing it in a theatre again, aren't they? Oh, you're joking. Well, Carrie Keegan, I think, if I'm not mistaken, judging by the chat on that show with Craig Fairbrass, I think she sounded like she was a breakfast morning TV person. Because she was talking about how she'd just got a new job and she had to be up at 4 and in bed by 8. But just go and have a look at her if you're slightly intrigued. Beautiful woman. So it's floor space at E3, John, is it? Ah, right, I've got you. Still massive, though, for Sony, isn't it? That's crazy. Crazy. Saw the picture, a big picture went round the interwebs this morning of one of the big posters that's up in LA. And it looks like they're going heavy on... yeah, I thought she was. She's a breakfast TV. I think... Big picture I saw this morning flying around was the big picture for Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, with Luke Skywalker on it. I've got to say, the game looks brilliant, I'm not going to lie, but I hope they're not going to go heavy on that. And this is a weird thing about E3, I don't know how you guys think. But like I saw that poster this morning and saying, oh, there's a big poster of this on E3, which clearly shows they've got some coverage to come, obviously. Like, I really hope that it's like, you know, like, when you see posters, that it's like, oh, yeah, well, we know about that game, so don't tell us a lot about it. Just tell us it's coming or whatever, and then move on. Show us new shit. And Benji, in fairness, there's a lot of attractive people, and of course they are, mate. Of course they're attractive. I've got a face for TV, don't you think? Don't you reckon? Bit suave, sophisticated, with the old grey beard and grey hair. Looks a bit distinguished. Can you imagine me on breakfast TV? I'd wake the fuckers up in the morning. I would. I would. But yeah, be good. I'd like a bit of TV time. Like a talk show would be interesting, wouldn't it? Think I could do a talk show? I think I kind of agree on this E3. It's critical for Microsoft and some ways Nintendo. I think Nintendo's will get through themselves, Benji. They always do. Braille TV. Nice one, Perry. But again, I go back to what I was saying about E3. Sony don't need to do shit, in my opinion. I just don't think they do, because they hold such a big market share right now. And all you guys know, it's all right saying you've got a piece of new hardware coming out. You've got to sell it to the people. It's all right saying it's coming. Any piece of tech can be coming, but you've got to make it sell. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and I think it is. I've said it months and months and months ago. This show is so big for Microsoft, and I know we say it every year, but this one I really think it is. I think they're in such a fine place at the minute. I kind of see them as like they're looking for a way back up the ladder, kind of. You know what I mean? I really would love to go to it, though. And by the way, and this is a bit crazy as well, honestly, I don't think they should have let the public in either. And I think that'll only be a one-year test as well. I don't think it'll happen again. Nintendo need to justify the price of the Switch, and Microsoft need to knock it out of the park for games, basically, Benji. That's the only bottom line, mate. Nintendo will just chug along. And I'll tell you right now, don't expect massive things from Nintendo at all. To me, Nintendo's show this, or to Nintendo's little bit of a thing they're doing again, will just be the usual stuff. It'll be all the stuff that we know's coming. It'll be the Marios, it'll be the Pikmin things, it'll be, you know, it'll be just the usual stuff. They'll give a lot of Monster Hunter XX, a lot of talk, I wouldn't wonder. If Sony and Microsoft drop the price of the Xbone and PS4 Slim, Switch will look expensive. It will, Benji, but I'll tell you something, they've already sold 3 million, mate. Which, and you know, let's be honest, they've sold 3 million of them already, right, with fuck all out for it. And I'll tell you now, and you might agree with this or not, but I'll tell you something, Microsoft would be over the fucking moon if they sold 3 million Scorpios in the first month, 2 months of sale. I'll tell you that free of charge. I'm talking to Ricky online. He's popping in tomorrow. He's going to... it's crazy. Para's in the room. It is crazy. And I still stand by what's even fucking crazier, that Zelda sold more than the console. Yeah, I'm just chatting to Rickster. He's popping in again tomorrow. We're going to show him some proper VR, I think, for a bit. I mean, to be honest, I've got a Switch. My Switch is sat there, and it's doing exactly what I knew it would do, and I said it would do. But I've got to admit, I'm excited for Mario. I think Mario will be a must-buy. I mean, it's a long time since we've played a Mario, you know, / Mario 64 / Sunshine, and they're classic games. Absolutely classics. Never happened. Scorpio's a different market. It will, but they need it to work, Perry. They need to sell these kind of numbers. They've got to. Plus, I have yet to see one in a store, which is a good thing. What, a Switch? Really? Are they're selling that well? Well, I've just finished a full VR session on Project Cars. Oh, you jammy git. You lucky bugger. Benji, I'll say it to the room, I say it to everybody on the show, mate, and I've said it since day one. It's not worth buying at the minute. I'm not kidding you. It's not worth chucking 280 quid at the console. It's just not worth it. Even if you're the biggest fucking Zelda fan on planet Earth, ever. It's not worth it. Nobody should spend 280 quid on a machine that plays 1 or 2 games and then the rest are indie. Me and Ricky even joked the other week, I can't remember if it was privately or on a Rambler, it's turned into a fucking Neo Geo emulator. You go and look on the store and there's about 80% of Neo Geo titles on it. It's crazy. Madness. Oh, I want my filament to come tomorrow so I can carry on with my Gorn tomorrow. Can't wait. Oh, I thought I'd just... Funny thing is that Zelda has above... Yeah, that's what I just said, Parrot. It's madness. How the fuck can you sell more Zelda games than the consoles? I'll tell you now that the Switch... If you honestly, and I'll tell you this and you can see if I'm right or wrong or not, but I'm telling you now, if you honestly want a Switch for your house around Christmas time, you need to be thinking of pre-ordering or getting your name down somewhere way before, because when it hits, when they chuck all the Marios out there and it's going to hit the Christmas market, you will never fucking find one, ever. You need to get one pre-ordered for Christmas if that's your plan for your family, because I swear you will not find one. Yeah, honestly, if you see one for sale right now in a shop and it's for Christmas, buy it, wrap it, bag it. Because come November, you will not. They'll be as rare as rocking horse shit, and Nintendo can spat all they want. Well, we're making plenty of them. Bullshit. They'll sell like crazy time at Christmas. They really will. I've just had an email for Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Is that Nintendo engineered? Do you know what, Para? Everybody asks this, don't they? And they ask it with a pinch of salt, bit of sarcasm. Do Nintendo? It's been the same for over the years. Do Nintendo purposely hold back stock because they periodically in history have always been that machine you can't get hold of. Anybody remembers in this country the Wii when it went fucking mental? You literally, I think they came out around November. In this country, if you wasn't on the first batch, you didn't get one until the following March. You couldn't find them if you sold your fucking family. And then that started, then that little Nintendo... You see, let's go back to this little fucking pocket Nintendo thing that's 49 quid that sold for £2,000 on eBay. They've now discontinued that. What the fuck? That, we've never talked about that on the show. What the fuck kind of decision is that? And I regret it to this day. You know the story if you're a regular listener. That was in my Shop 2 pre-order box up to 4 hours till it came out. And I fucking stopped. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. Because I would have sold it. And you can call me what you fucking want. I would have sold it. But why have they so... Let's just picture something now. That little... And it's not a brilliant machine. Let's not fucking lie. It's not mind-blowingly brilliant. But the point... They've got a machine that the actual uptake from the public has been phenomenal. People are clambering over themselves to try and buy the fucking thing. So they decide to discontinue it. What kind of business sense is that? Like... Because let's not beat about the bush. They can't cost fucking very much to make. There was only 49 quid at retail. If I were Nintendo, I'd be churning them fuckers out like confetti. Like, why? Why have you discontinued it? Absolutely madness. Now, let's fast forward, because they do is rumours that they're going to bring the mini SNES out. That's it. This is the one. I was just coming to that, Para. If that fucking thing comes out, you better get your mortgage, your ass, your grandma, your mother sold to grab one. Because you think it will mad for this one? Wait till that fucker comes out. And yes, I will be pre-ordering that one. And no, I won't be removing it from my basket like the dick that I was this time. Still undecided on my 2DS. Still undecided on my 2DS. My 2DS is in my pre-order bag. July the 23rd. I think I'm going to try and sell the 3DS to get it. If I don't, I'm not going to bother. Because somebody on Twitter today actually asked me, because they'd listened to the show today. They said, I'm quite surprised you're going to sell, that you're selling your 3DS to get a 2DS. You're downgrading, you're taking your 3... When I actually replied to them and said, I don't use 3D anymore when I play the 3DS anyway. It's just something I don't use anymore. And I also like the design of the 2DS looks beautiful. And yes, I know it's a marketing ploy. Yes, it looks lovely. Yes, it's shiny. But it's new tech. We joked at the end of the tweet as well, and it says it's new tech, and that's end of the conversation, isn't it, then? Probably because they need the manufacturing capacity to make the SNES Mini. What, really? They need some space to make a motherboard about, like, that. Do you know what I mean? Did Ricky's 3DS get banned from the online in the banned wave? He's not mentioned it. And I'm sure he would have done. Why? They just done one. It'd have to be really recently. I told him it'd get banned if he carried on, but that's just me. They were banned... What? Recently, Benji? I'll have to ask him. I'll throw him... I think he's still around. He might even be in this room shortly. We'll have to ask him. Nintendo are taking a hard stance on this, and I tried to explain to Ricky, and he always laughs it off as a joke. You've heard him before. But Nintendo are doing a serious thing with this shit as well. I've heard stories that they fucking absolutely wipe your entire Nintendo accounts. The lot. The fucking lot. Like, if you've been a purchaser of any digital stuff on Nintendo, you are fucked. Which kind of makes sense. Right, you know Nintendo have been doing the bannings, para, for a while now. Well, I don't know if you're aware of this. Ricky, and it's not his fault, you don't blame Ricky because he bought it. Ricky's 3DS that he bought second-hand had got all the homebrew stuff on. Oh, he's got his smiley face on. No, I'm talking to him now. I'll ask him. I'll ask him right now, guys. We'll get an answer. Yeah, but no, Benji, they're banning your whole account, mate. I've read things on some Reddit forums and stuff where people's Nintendo, and we all know me and Para could write a fucking novel and a story about Nintendo bullshit, about accounts and stuff. Fucking that drives me up the wall. Apparently they're not just banning your 3DS from going online, they're taking any linked account with it and saying, bye, fuck off, see ya, done, ended, whoosh. There was even reports of the last banning cycle about 6 months ago that it fucked your 3DS up. 3DS was gone. They were fucking it right up. Let me ask Rickster now. We're talking about you on the stream. See what he says. He'll probably drop in the room now. I'm going to wind him up. I hope he's not listening to me. I'm going to wind him up. Let me wind him up. They did a massive cull on the homebrew shit you have. Get ready. I hope he's not in the room. On the homebrew shit you have, apparently, you ready? Banning all your Nintendo accounts and you're making your machines unusable. Shall I put that? Banning your entire Nintendo account and making all your hardware unusable. Oh God, I hope he bites to this. He's got to bite to this, please. There we are, guys. Are you ready for a bit of fun? We're talking about you on the stream, about your... Oh, discuss. What? Homebrew. About your homebrew on 3DS. Should have read. Let's have a bit of a wind up. So, I've said, it's just been announced they did a massive cull on the homebrew shit you have on your 3DS, apparently banning your entire Nintendo accounts and making all your hardware unusable. Let's get ready for the reply. Let's reel him in. I wonder if I might do a Rambler tomorrow, live, face-to-face Rambler. It'll be very weird, that is. I don't think I can perform like that, by the way. Having them in front. Oh, by the by, get ready for this bit of a story. So, Indiegogo, you know I love the place, support a lot of people on there once every couple of months. I like to get one and support them. So I'm looking this morning, aren't I, for my next month's support. Holy shit. There's a guy apparently who's like an absolute internet audio magician. Apparently he's been doing audio since he was 14. He invented all these electronic boxes and shit that did magic shit with audio. He started an Indiegogo this morning. I got it in my inbox because I support some. We now get offered early birds, which I quite like actually. Because we've supported 3 or 4 before, we get like an email saying, here's your monthly early birds, here are the new Indiegogos going up. God, did I fucking want this one this morning. So get this, guys. This clever guy is starting a brand new business franchise. He's starting on Indiegogo. I can't remember the name. I'll try and pull it from somewhere. But it shows you his video. It comes up, and it comes on and says, this is the best piece of audio hardware kit for podcasters around the world. He's invented a little box with a few knobs and buttons on it. And apparently this thing, because he knows all his shit with electronics and all the magic stuff you can do. And he started the video talking about big... When he used to be a DJ and a radio host, he had all the home studio, so he had all the expensive racks with the fucking bells and whistles. And he started his conversation about this project saying, if ever I wanted to travel around the world and do recordings elsewhere, portability was out the window. And he showed a picture and he says, yes, they used to sell small portable sound basses and I could piss about with that, but they're still way too convoluted, aimed at music, not aimed for voice. So he shows this little box he's come out with. And by this time I'm getting a bit excited, thinking, fucking hell, this looks really good. Video carries on, and by the end I'm wetting myself, because he says this machine is for all podcasting audio people, and it does all the audio from Skype. You click a few buttons and switches, and he then played a 5-minute audio recording of him sat in a shitty room with no audio special shit round him except Skype and into this box. And what he did as he was talking live on this box, he was flicking the switches on and off so he could hear it. He does one that was called noise something or other, which is apparently the magic thing he's figured out about Skype. Because Skype, and you guys will hear it on our audio on the show, and it's, you know, I try my hardest. It's one of my fucking bugbears that I try every week to get spot on. And I really apologise if you hate me saying in the show live to the guys, can you lower your mic or can you move? It's because I'm watching it live on the meters and they're coming like fucking way louder, and I know it's going to be a problem later on. Because there's one thing in audio editing you need to know. If they're too loud, I'm fucked. There is nothing magical I can do, because what happened, it's called topping out. And when I look at the audio to edit, it's like peaks and troughs. If they top out, fuck all I can do. It's the way, when I put the audio into my editing software, if I'm staring at it and their audio's right up there and mine's like here, I'm like sat there and I put my head in my hands and think, fuck. So whenever you hear me in the show say, guys, can you move your microphone or can you do this? It's for a reason, because I can see their meters whapping. Back to this story. So this guy's showing you this recording. And I am totally starting to think, fucking hell, I want this. This is exactly what I need. I need to plug the fucking thing in. Because it literally, he was recorded, the noise he was talking through Skype that he'd recorded was the clearest, cleanest, not a fucking peep of any noise, hiss, crackles, anywhere. So I was there thinking, yes, I've found my next Indiegogo. Do you know how much it was? I've never been... I don't think I've been, in recent times, so fucking high, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I want this, I've got to get this for the show, to then looking down the page to going, I'm having this, and then going, boom. It's $499. And I'm like, fucking hell. And I'll just tell you a little niggle I've got with Indiegogo. If you've been on it, 'cause I highly recommend it. I'm sure you'd find something that you'd like to chuck a couple of dollars at and things. And I guarantee you'll find something you like, because they do things of all walks of life. Just go on Indiegogo.com, click Explore, and all the shit comes up. Now, one little bugbear, because one question I wanted to ask about this piece of hardware, which sounds like a magician's box for podcasters. It looks fucking brilliant. I wanted to know, when you look at the Indiegogo page, let me just rewind. You look at the Indiegogo page, they do all the pledge at the top, there's a video, then on the right-hand side, it's actual things you can buy. So it'll say, like, chuck us $5 to just show your support. Then normally the next one down is what's called Early Bird. An Early Bird is you getting the product at a reduced price before anybody else for supporting it. Thing is, that Early Bird is usually, like, it's about 30-40% cheaper, so that thing's going to be fucking dearer when it comes out. And then there'll be a date below when it's expected to ship. So you've got to always watch Indiegogo. I've said it before. If there's something you like, try and jump on one that's nearly finished. Don't jump on one that's like 8 months away, because it could not even been made yet, and you could literally... I bet you've found it, Para, haven't you? You have, mate. You've been unlocked. Yes, mate. Well done. I'm glad you found me that name. I want one, but there's no way I'm getting one. $500 is fucking ridiculous. But I've got to say, guys, but this is my bugbear with Indiegogo, and I don't know what you guys think. When you look at the page, in the middle of the page at the bottom is a place where you can get updates from the people that make it. So they'll put things like, oh, we're building it now, or oh, it's being made in the ship. Like the keyboard I've got behind me, my sexy keyboard. That used to come on and say, oh, guys, they're manufacturing it. We're a month away. Then the next update was, we're shipping it, we're packing it, and then la-di-da. That's that column. In the middle is a very important column. It's the comments. It's where we used to be able to talk with the actual manufacturers to get answers and shit. Now, I have a very valid question about this item. Very valid. And my question is this. I've heard the audio. It sounds fucking amazing. What he does is amazing. It's a fantastic piece of kit. I wanted to ask him, does that just do my audio? Or if I'm on a Skype call with my podcasting hosts, does it do all as audio? Because you see, that's the downfall, as I always talk about. Skype records mine level, individual. My audio is individual. Steve's, Ricky's and Hayden's are all on one type. So when I always say to them, I've got to try and get them pretty level, because they're on one audio clip. I wanted to ask a question, valid, as you guys can probably hear and say, is it for all audio and or whatever? But the way Indiegogo works, only people that's pledged can comment. Yeah, I probably could, Para. I actually might go and do the link now. I mean, to be honest though, mate, yeah, you've just sent me the link on the video. Thank you very much. The thing is, 500 quid's way out my price racket, which is a really big shame. I actually recommend, guys, go and have a look at it. Para's just found it on Indiegogo. Look for Podcaster Pro. Just watch his video at the top, and it's just fantastically made. That would be... Oh, and by the way, where he's done the video of that, scroll down the page, and there's a video where you see him doing the audio chat where I've talked about. Put headphones in. You can't tell, unless if you're listening through an iPad or an external thing, you can't tell. Stick a pair of headphones in, listen to his audio, and listen to him flicking the switches. Listen to the quality of that audio with that machine. It's just magical, but fucking hell, $500. No, not a chance. Not a chance, but it's a great piece of kit. But anyway, right, I'm going to play some of this game now, guys, while we've now I've had a bit of a chat and stuff. This game's... You'll see it anyway. It's a nice, pleasurable, easy run. So we've just literally... This is right at the beginning. It's going to teach you the moves.
Splendid. You seem to be fit as a fiddle. Now, I am more than a regular arm. Use me to punch through those boxes.
Wait, how did you get out? I mean, I see you're taking a stroll. Good.
I haven't done, no, I don't know. I haven't had an answer from Ricky, no. Sorry, I'll keep that page up. I completely forgot about that. Let me just grab that, because I am interested. It's on, I'm on his page now, so I'll leave it there. In fact, let me just stand it up. I'll keep an eye on it. He actually won't be able to tell me either, because he's away at Leeds. He's away at Leeds, and he hasn't got. He's took any device. The only device he's took is his Kindle again, his old man book reading machine.
What? Bob? You never told me she was gravity defying.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I should have known. Try my other function on this swarm, the spin attack. The spin attack also functions as a triple jump while in the air.
Oh, so you slapped around Dave and Steve. They were useless anyway. Alright, end of the road, you rascal. You can't get through here. Ah, shrimp sticks.
Yeah, he's just replied. He's just replied. He's got to come in the room. He's just put Oh, with two ghosties going, ooh, I'm scared. I knew he'd have a fucking laugh. He's never bothered. One day it'll bite him in the ass, you know. I'm going to tell you that. I know it will. He always makes me laugh on the podcast when I try and explain something. Do you remember when I tried to explain him about the PlayStation that time? And we had a big, like, bit of a discussion on the thing. Do you use Kindle lending library? I've just started having a look at it, Perry. To be honest, I've got a lot of books that I want to get through at the minute. I'm looking. I think I might start my It again. I'm a few chapters into It. It is free. There's some good books. He's here. He's in the room. Look, yeah, all your Nintendo devices have gone, mate. Nintendo's had a massive cull. You're fucked. You're done. They'll be knocking at your door. They'll be knocking at your door, mate. All your Nintendo shit's gone. In all seriousness, Ricky, no, there has been a culling, mate. Seriously, they've banned a lot of the devices that have got that stuff on them this weekend, and people were just asking in this room if yours had been done, and yet I said to them, you don't know because you're at work. But yeah, when you get home, make sure you check your 3DS, because apparently this weekend they've done an absolute shitload. What? How do you mean you can check? You mean you can check who they've banned, or you can check what? Still can't believe I won postcode lottery yesterday. Just after you'd gone, Ricky, yesterday, mate, won postcode lottery. I thought I'd done. Thought I'd fucking done living on a beach, podcasting. It's here with me now, and can they do it as I never go online with mine? No, I think, yeah, they can. Yeah. Switch it on now and find out.
You imbecile!
Try and get on your friends list or online game. If you get an error, you may have been banned. Yeah, try it.
Now's your chance.
You have been online with it, Ricky. You went online with it when you were testing it the other week. Every time you jump, every time. Every time you go on that store to download something, that's online.
Woo! This is it. I'm outie. Oh boy.
I didn't mean game. Yeah. Sorry about that. There's no way I can change that audio. That's why I've cut short. I was going to say that. When there's a cutscene, the audio's dead loud. I can't change it, so I'll skip them. So don't worry.
Delighted to make your acquaintance, Plugs. But we have urgent matters to attend.
I've just explained. Cutscenes I can't alter. The in-game stuff I've altered because there's no way of controlling it. So when the cutscenes kick in, guys, I'll skip them. So I apologise for that. There's nothing I can do.
The Islanders always jam about that thing.
There's nothing I can do.
That sounds just like it, I guess.
Look, if you look in the options, I'll just go in the options. Look, if you go in the options, audio, I've turned down. Look, master volume down to 45. I'll turn it down a bit more. But you can't change the other. Sorry.
Can you take us there?
I know these islands like the back of my wing. Let me show you the...
Now, I know felines don't like getting wet, and your mechanical arm is far too heavy for you to be swimming. So watch out for large bodies of water.
Note to self, keep kitty cat out of water.
So if you can't access your friends list on the 3DS, you might have been banned. Yeah, I don't think, to be honest, I know that, I mean, Ricky will probably say this, but I know he don't use it like that very often, but I'm even just going on the store, or going on that fake store that's on the Homebrew, I'm sure that counts and equates to being online. Won't be too much longer before the Switch gets done. Mate, I would not piss about with my Nintendo equipment, and I say it to you every week, you are going to get bit in the ass. Believe me. Nintendo are taking a big stance on it, mate. You will get bit on the ass. No, it don't what? Go online? Yeah, it does go on the online. How do you think you get the thing, that store that it connects to? How do you think you get on it? You're online somewhere. Just because you don't go on the official Nintendo one, it is still online somewhere. This is my collector's shit that's going to kick in now, because I'm going to keep doing this. But it's different, not connected to Nintendo. No, but it's online, though. And you're still on a Nintendo device.
You see this checkpoint? I have dropped these all over the island. They are quantum replicators, and should you, to all our dismay, perish...
It's still... See, Benji's telling you, look, what I've been trying to tell you for weeks. It still is online. Just because you're connecting to the shit that you're not supposed to. Usage data, that's how they're getting it, yeah. I will say one thing about this game, boys and girls, is the control system of it, the buttons and the actual... It's really intuitive. One of the best platforming intuitive things for a cheapo. It really is cool and really good. You can see me whapping about here like a madman. I'm sure there will be a way to get round it. Ricky, mate, there ain't a way to get round it. I don't know why you always think there's like it's indestructible. What'll happen? The people that are hacking them, they will obviously try and skate round it. No question. You know that. It's like an ongoing battle. It always has been with shit like this. They do one. They do one. They break it. Oh shit. They break it. You do it. They do it. If you don't go online, then you'll be fine. But it could still get locked. But you'll still be able to play the games on it. It won't be long before that alternate store gets shut down though, if they've started the hackings, I'll tell you that now. That's the next thing they'll be doing. Bollocks. That's the only snag when I play these games. I do get carried away a bit speedy. Think I'm going the wrong way. Of course, so what's the problem? 3DS games are becoming less and less. I have all the classics. Yeah, you'll still be able to play the game, so don't worry about it. No. All it becomes is, like I say, it's like an ongoing battle. They'll do it, Nintendo will hit back, then they'll do it again, and then Nintendo will hit back. It's just the same thing. That's why firmwares are always released. No, I know you ain't worried. Until it'll bite you in the ass. Is that a secret in that waterfall? What we're thinking? Do you reckon there's a secret in that waterfall? Nope. That'll be a no. Thought there would have been. That was just screaming to be a secret there, wasn't it? I knew I'd be lost in this bloody thing. I should have gone straight ahead like I did before. Yeah, that's what people get it for. The crazy people go and get Pokemon, go and get the shitty version, then go and play it online like idiots. Yeah, but you don't do the other stuff though, Benji, do you? You said you've only just got normal homebrew on, and that's very rare. That's... Get on, Owl Boy. Jesus, man. Oh, I'm dead. Fuck. I didn't realise they were doing me damage. Have you seen the actual thing you have to do to get that thing on there? Oh, at least it's put me back where I wanted to be. Yeah. Have you actually seen what you have to do to get on it? Holy shit, it's like a 30-step thing. Got Headlander for PC as well. Oh, that's a brilliant game. I wanted to play that on the PS4. So nearly bought that. Looks a cool game, that does. Right, this is exactly where I played it to the test.
And thank you, Duplux. Hey, don't sweat it. But what in the name of funk is going on?
A terrible calamity has struck our island.
What the hell is
He
that
calls
thing?
himself the CRT. His greedy attempt to deconstruct the siphon broke it apart, and I can feel the life force of this moon seeping away.
No, this is PS4.
It's an ancient
This came out last week.
mechanism
I got it sent for
powered by
review.
3 fuses.
Like I said at the top of this, Benji, this is basically a poor man's
Original places of creation.
Ratchet and Clank, innit?
On the highest point of the island.
It's not a bad. To be honest, I don't even know how much it costs either. By the way, did you guys all see the updated store this morning? Praise the game that they've reduced, but me and Ricky had a laugh earlier. 35 quid it's gone down to. Yeah, it basically is. It's honestly, this is a virtual rip-off of Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, please, if you find any of my children, break open their cages just like mine.
But it's
And for the
neatly
trouble,
made. It's
I will
nothing
increase
bad.
your health. So if you ever feel weak,
Ratchet and Clank is one of the best games I've played on this system. It was that good I finished it in 2.5 days. Fantastic game. If you've not got or bought or played Ratchet and Clank on a PS4, and especially a PS4 Pro, you need to play it. It is fantastic. Have you finished it yet, Ricky?
You know this island, so you must guide Skylar on her journey.
I guess I know my way around. Sure, if you say so, Jelly Beans.
I think it's cheap now as well to buy into. I think it's only about 29 quid.
And Skylar, let Clover Mountain be a trial of your courage. Best of luck to you both.
Wait till they announce NAC 2 at E3 and you're all dying to play that one. Oh, how can you not have started it, man? Never been a gamer. Get it bloody started. Christ on a bike, man. You'd enjoy it, actually. You would, honestly, you'd enjoy it. It's not bad at all. And it's one of the best looking games on the machine. And I know that you might think, well, it's a cartoon. But I watched Sing in 4K yesterday and that looked truly stunning. I've no idea where I'm going in this. Oh, I found one of these things though. I need 100, I've got 79. And what Fallout announcement that's going to be? You lot want to go a life with this Fallout rubbish. You really do. It's about time you moved on. It is. It's about time you moved on and started playing some proper games. About all this Fallout rubbish. Oh, Jesus. Oh, so you think it's going to be Fallout... I meant to talk to you about that. So it's not like the remake Steve was saying on the show. It's Fallout New Vegas brand new. Like a new game. Fallout Vegas 2. Yeah? Is that what you meant? Now, if it's that, then you... What? Says what? Don't you dare have a dig at me. I play all the proper games. Do you want me to start throwing some shit at you? Have you finished Witcher yet? Have you finished Horizon Dawn yet? So shall we go with that one, or shall we not bother with that one? What was the last platinum trophy you got on the PlayStation? Shall we go there and all? Shall we have a right good old dig? Don't get me going, boy. I don't think I should be up here. This kind of also speaks to... Oh, Christ, am I up? This kind of speaks to me like... Holy shit. It's kind of like... finished a round of PGA Tour. That's about sums you up, boy, that does. You stick to your crappy games. Where the hell am I supposed to go in this? Don't fall out. Yay! Well done, Aj. Where you like 30 where you like 30 under? Oh. I think this is the way to go. Have you ever, in all seriousness, Ricky, I meant to ask you this the other night. Have you ever got used to playing Rory on the proper, on not the baby way of playing? And I don't mean that nastily, I mean it's the easiest way to explain it. You know, the tri-click. Have you ever played it on the swing stick? Because it's way better, it's more enjoyable playing it that way. You feel like you're actually achieving something, and it feels more of a golf swing. And you can have it on either stick as well, I saw that in the settings.
Alrighty then. I've been soaring around this place for years. Finding that fuse should be a piece of cake.
Have you stuck it up to the hardest level, Benji?
Let's not be away for too long.
That kind of works, because I used to do the same. I used to do the same. 3-click practice for everybody's golf. Can't wait to play that with you, boyo. We'll have some good fun on there. Yeah, stick it up a level, mate. If you win, my criteria at PGA used to be play it for a few weeks, get used to it. If I was starting to win by about 15 shots, then I knocked it up a level, and basically just keep doing that. Just keep knocking it up a level if you're winning by a load of shots. That's the best way I could, and it works out quite well. Did he just say you were kicking the balls? Did he actually say I should have kicked you in the balls?
I don't know how to say this, but I'm kind of a big deal. People know me. Wait, you never heard of the mighty CRT? You pigeon?
CRT? Does that stand for a cranky robot bird or something?
No, it's none of your business. Bob, end the transmission.
That's what that was doing. Oh no, we're getting to these fucking silly parts. Bit of skill there, bit of skillage. Boom, boom. Bit of Ratchet and Clank skills coming in. Except the bombs, I didn't see that little shit. They're really hard to see, by the way. Don't know if it's just me. I've had 2 of my major TV series end this last 2 days. Heartbroken. And one of them really pissed me off. Like, pissed me off beyond belief. So 2 major of my TV series is done, so I'm like, fuck it. But I don't think now I've got a major TV series that I'm actually watching.
Here before? We'll have to get around it somehow.
No, let's not a minute. Let's have a pottle. Okay. Given I've been watching Midsummer Maids on Netflix, I love those maids. Oh god, I've not watched that for a long time. My favourite 2 programmes that's finished, my Sherlock Holmes finished, and a very sad ending. I was really a bit upset. Elementary finished, but then the one I'm really secretly into, it's my secret little passion that everybody would probably take the piss out of me. Grantchester on ITV. It's a really pappy... Oh, fuck, this is going to be annoying, isn't it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Grantchester, it's actually from a famous novel set in the 40s and 50s. It's about a vicar who helps a policeman solve murder mysteries in the village. Fuck, impatience. And it's all been, you know, these... Let me put something to you. Bit fucking soppy, bit pappy, but you know what, where I'm coming from. You know when you watch it, you know when you get into a series. You know, we've all been into series that are really good and we enjoy them and shit like that. We've all done that, haven't we? Okay? So you know when there's a romantic interest in them? When there's a... Yeah, the one about the woman Geordie Copper series, mate. No, it's brilliant, mate. You have to have watched it all. Don't get me wrong, if I told you to watch it now and you watched it, you'd hate it. You would hate it, you wouldn't get it, everything. I've watched every single episode. Every single episode. Now, what I'm saying is, you know, in these kind of series that you put your time and effort in, you know when there's a romance into it? You know when there's a romance in it? And it's like everything. Like, you know, like a romance where you want them to get together, but they never do. Like Mulder and Scully and all that bollocks. Well, there's a couple in this programme. Now, the reason I like it, it's set in the 40s and just after the war, kind of. And he's a vicar, don't forget. So, you know all the, like, real-life shit, like... Basically, he's fell in love with a woman who's about to get divorced, and she's a beautiful-looking woman, by the way. He's fell in love with a woman who's just had a baby with her husband who she's now getting divorced with, and they've been together forever. They knew each other from the village. She went and left and got married. They came back. They fell in love. Now, the way this series ended, he literally at the beginning of the episode said, I'm fucking giving the church up. And he handed his resignation in. And I'm like, yes, go for it. Because there's a real condemnation in that era, in the 40s, where it's like they can't fucking... You could never go... Well, put it a double whammy. Is a vicar and he's seeing a divorced woman who's got a baby. So it's like the top of the tree. Everybody looked at you like scum. You couldn't do it. It was like, oh my fucking God, oh Lord above and all this. Well, he handed his resignation at the beginning of this series. I knew it was the last episode. So I'm like dead excited because it's been going on. This romance has been going on for 3 series. So it's been amazing. And I'm like thinking, yes, finally. Fuck it. Because you've invested your time in it. So halfway through the episode, there's obviously a murder or there's a missing kid actually as was the episode. So he's helping that. And there's also a marriage going on from a close friend and he sees all the joys of marriage and all that fucking shit. And holy shit, at the end of the fucking thing, he changed his mind. He changed his mind. He carried on being a vicar. She's left him. I was sat there all fucking miserable and depressed like the old romantic that I am. I was so pissed. I was that pissed. I even tweeted to ITV and say, you fucking ruined my programme. Hated it. What was WW2 like, Toz? Did you say World War II? Fuck off, Nikki. And welcome to the room. I'm old, man, but I ain't that fucking old. Although I feel it with you lot. I feel old with your lot and your comments, giving me shit all the time. But yeah, I was heartbroken with Grantchester. I thought they'd finally got to fucking together. Is that Oh, fucking hell, he's got a new move, look, watch. Fuck yeah, boom. See, we're getting new cool moves now, look. What's not? Oh yeah, cool move where I die. I think it's raining outside, it's pissing it. I'm going to turn my fan off. Uncle Albert during the war. Honestly, I love Grantchester. It's just, do you know what it was? You know how fucking old romantic and sad I am anyway. It was just a good escape for me. I wanted him to get with this woman. I'm an old romantic. She's a lovely looking woman and it was going really good. And I was all happy because it was the end of the fucking series. And then they go and do that fucker. It rips his resignation up and I'm like, you bastard. So fucking pissed. I've just gone back from there, haven't I? Twat. R3 plus X while running to do a rocket roll. I don't want to do a rocket roll on there. Where am I supposed to go, boys? Well, it's up here. Have I broke my phone? No, my phone's charged. And I think it has fast charge. I'm enjoying my phone now. I'm getting used to it. Still a few things I'm not... A few nuances. I pissed about with that. I love that app, by the way, that everybody recommended last night, the Zang or Zing or whatever. I put some cool wallpapers on. Well, I put Poison Ivy on it that looked pretty... Oh, fuck off. Oh, where have you dropped to? Oh, he's not going to get stuck in fucking scenery, is he? Don't put me down below, you knobhead. Oh my god, I'm right back here. Oh my fucking god, I'm right back here. I'm fucking miles away. Good evening, Carl. Hope you had a pleasant day. Oh, I think I'm fucked here. I can't believe I've gone right back. This is a down at this game. It's got some shitty loading things. And it's not very clear on where you're going. I'm going to have a break in a minute as well, because one I need the loo and one I need a drink. Has it locked up? Fucking hell, how long's the loading time? Can't believe it's put me right back here. There's one, I found a YouTube, oh bollocks. I found a YouTube video, Nikki, that you can. There is one, and a good one. It's actually a curved glass screen. It's a good one, mate. I'll try and find you the video in my history. But if you search YouTube, there is one. I've ordered a case today, a better one than my sticky one, although I'm loving my sticky one. But yeah, you can find a decent case that lets a curved glass screen come on it. It's really good. Although I don't think I'm putting a screen on mine anyway. I hate the bloody things. When you send a for a review card, do you have to show them proof of your review afterwards, written review, video links? No, see, I mean, they obviously, I mean, what's always sold my review stuff to companies is obviously I've got a website. As long as you're, and this is a question that you probably ask yourself actually, could I do it and all this. I'm going to die this time, you fucking prick, too quick. And people say to me, oh, I'm thinking of starting a podcast, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Well, what it is, you see, obviously you've put yourself in my position. If I send you, you say you've just started a new job tomorrow, you're a PR department for a game company, and you'll get a letter from, you get a message from me, okay? You get a message from me saying, I'd like to put my name down for a review of Date 4, okay? You would then probably, some of them come back and say, what numbers are you? Which obviously I tell them, and I can show them the numbers for the show are pretty decent, like 4,000 listeners a week on one show and 2,000 listeners on another show, so you've got a really good feedback. But the thing that sells it is you give them the link to the website. Now, if your job was the people behind Date, you'd go to our website and see, you would see that we had got, oh shit, fuck, I'm just trying something. You would see we've got episode 409, which clearly, I don't think I can get up there, which clearly you would then see it's not a fake site or it's not a stupid site and we're not some fly-by-night just asking for a free game. So yes, you've got to have proof that you exist in the market, and obviously having a website with a podcast at episode 409 kind of helps. And then you send them a screenshot of your viewers, your listeners, your subscriptions. Oh, it's put me right back here, you stupid fuck. Are you shitting me? You do know I'm starting to get fucking bored with this, don't you? But yeah, it's kind of like that, Albert. You have to have some proof, obviously. Ever had grief from them for not talking about it on the pod? They don't get grief. Sometimes we forget. Because we do get... Obviously, the main games, we normally cover and we play. And obviously, sometimes we forget to talk about them on the show. It just happens. Now, obviously, we get a lot of indies. Like this one. Take this game, for an example. They might say in a couple of weeks... have you done any coverage for Skylar and Plex? And I'll say, yeah, I streamed it. Here's the link. And then that's proof enough, kind of. Oh, for fuck's sake, Jim. But yeah, we do forget, Nicky, at times, definitely, mate. But you just have to try and remember. That's all. Fuck. Too impatient. That first one seems to be a lot fucking quicker than the others. Seem to be out of sync. Try not to fucking fall. Got to get back to where game looks like fun. I'll watch West on replay. Cheers, matey. Thank you for watching. Yeah, they're always there on YouTube after. Thank you very much. It's not bad, this is. It's a good little game. I don't know how much it is in the store, though. I've not checked. I maybe should have done, but I just like playing them so you guys can see. Right, I'll try not to fall this time. Fucking thing. And I'll definitely not fucking try and jump up there. I'm coming all this way just to get back to where I was, aren't I? And I think I'm there, look. Fucking hell, was that a long trek. Made the fatal error of falling off, though, didn't I? So I'm trying to get up there, aren't I? I think is where I'm heading. Nearly did it then, not paying attention. Oh, fucking balls. Yeah, Persona 5, I ought to get back to that, actually. This is very twitchy, by the way, this game is on the controls. I know I said it's got a really nice control system, which it has, but it's very fucking twitchy. The checkpoints aren't too bad, Nicky. It's I made a fatal error, that's all. I fell off, didn't I? When I was here, I fell really way down, and it didn't put me back to that checkpoint. I'm still fucking a bit struggly where I go now, to be honest. You've got to be careful. And that's what lets these kind of games down. Ratchet and Clank don't suffer from that, I'll tell you that now. See, do I have to go down there? See, the game's got no way of pointing us to where we're going, has it? It's got no map system or anything. And to say that that person, thing, or whatever creature it was said he's supposed to help you. I did break the checkpoint system, you're right. Because the checkpoint's down there. And when I died off here, it's supposed to put me back up there. But I fell off when I was right up there, didn't I? See, where's that? I'm pretty certain it's this way. Oh, it looks like this way anyway. Yeah, it is. I was doing this business, weren't I? This is where I got this new weapon. This is where I fucked up last time. This is exactly where I fucked up last time. Yeah, because if I press R2 and X while running to do a rocket roll. This is called Skylar and Pluck's Adventure on Clover Island. Well, fucking hell. I've done all that just to lock a switch, so I've got to right back down to the fucking bottom again. Obviously, I'd be interested if anybody's just going to look in the store on how much this is. Because if it's in comparison to Ratchet and Clank, then it's a no fucking brainer, isn't it? You buy Ratchet and Clank every day. But you've got to think this is brand new last week, and Ratchet and Clank's been out a lot longer. But let me tell you now, this isn't as not. I mean, this is nice. It plays well. It's nice, not bad. But it's no Ratchet and Clank. I can assure you that. But it's clearly taking all its ideas from that game. Clearly is. But if you seriously have not played Ratchet and Clank, boys, you need to go and fucking play it. Because it is truly one of the best games on this system.
I love this place.
And I know, I bet you any money, I bet you, a lot of you are thinking exactly what I used to think. Ratchet and Clank, I don't want to play some pissy, cartoony little kiddies game. It's exactly what I thought, honestly. I didn't think it when I'd finished it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Go and play it. It's about 29 quid, I think, if not.
I own it. I'll turn this wilderness into something more.
You can't.
No? That's exactly what those pesky natives said. And look where they are now. Anyway. Tell me when you and Kitty Cat are done sulking and ready to get to work.
Whatever he's got planned, it can't be good. We really do have to do something, don't we? This gate seems to be hooked up to something. Let's see where these wires lead.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank is honestly superb. I think I finished it in about 2.5, 3 days when I did it originally. Because it was that. The reason I finished it in that time is because it was that good. Oh, fuck off.
Ah, so we gotta find 2 more of these.
Indeed we fucking have. Did I finish? Is that a question mark? No, did I fuck? Not a chance. Did you watch it? Drove you mad at the end. I just got stuck on that boat level. It just drove me fucking balmy. It didn't need to be that difficult. It was a good, we all enjoyed it in the stream. We just thought it was a great little game, which it was, but why did it get so fucking hard on that boat level? Like ridiculously difficult. I don't know why I'm going this way. It's nowhere near the cable. In fact, that's the first fucking cable, isn't it? If you were to get handed a plane ticket, hotel, res and pass the 3-3 and press conference, would you take it? Fucking hell, yeah. I'd go and pack now. I need to stop on that. Oh, lucky. Oh, wait, lucky. Oh, yeah, Albert, without a shadow of a doubt, mate. Definitely. It's gone ever so black, are you? Press the wrong fucking button and I've died. Hiya, NH. How are you? Looks like a bit of rain heading this way. Have I got a passport? I haven't, sadly, no. So if a magic ticket arrived, I would not be able to go. I have been toying getting a passport because my brother wants me to get one. Where the fuck has it put me? Yes, I've had a decent day today. It's been okie dokie. Am I in the right place here? Like, what the fuck? Do I fancy doing Gamescom this year? Is that the one in Germany? Oh, fucking yeah, I would actually. I wouldn't mind at all. It's supposed to be really good, isn't it? Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong, my brother keeps pestering me, because he's offered to not tempt me, but he wants me to go on holiday with him. I think he's just basically doing it so I get out, kind of. I will get a passport, I think, because I think if you've got a passport in my situation, there could be a chance where, yeah, it's 10 years over here, Albert. The thing is, though, it's going to cost me about 80 quid, I think. So the point being, it's 80 quid. and it's like 80 quid. Like, if I don't use it, then it's pretty fucking wasted, isn't it, really? I've still got my original one. My brother's told me, actually. He's told me if I find my other one, which I have still got, I found it in the drawer the other day. If I find my other one, I don't pay as much, I think he said. Went with a mate into Major Nelson, was pretty cheap, was about 250 quid. That's really good. Did that include a place to stay then, Para? I mean, I don't think we're going to EGX this year either. Ricky was supposed to sort the tickets out, but he's never got round to it. So sadly, I don't think we're going this year. Which I'd probably end up falling out with a few people, if I'm being honest. Well, hotel, flight and ticket and some fruit. That's really fucking good price, that is. How do I get up there, boys? On you prick, Ron. I think it's in this cave. When is it, by the way? Where is that button? Oh, it's there.
Not enough buttons pushed for this sucker.
Thought we'd pressed 3. No, it's that soon, is it? Fucking hell, I'm following it backwards. You little bastard. You little fucker. Right, let's not lose track of this cable. It's this one, isn't it? Thought I'd been up here. Boom. not a bad little game, this thing, you know. Has anybody found the price of it yet in the store?
Uh-oh, I see fire.
Oh, fucking hell, I've got a right jumpy here, though. Fuck. When does that little bird get to do some fucking shit? Like save my ass when I'm falling. You know what I mean? Oh, bollocks, I've done it again. Oh, I've got away with that, though. Do you know what I mean? When does that... this bird's done absolutely sweet fuck all, hasn't he, really? To say he's supposed to be my partner... Slightly off topic, but was really getting on my tits is narration in the menu of driving games. MTV presents buggers it up. Yo, by the way, while you're talking on... I put my request in for the date review.
How could he do
Are you
this?
getting it then? Because I'm going to watch some videos tonight.
The natives just couldn't dig the vision I had for this place. So burn, baby, burn.
Fucking
You
hell.
won't get away with this.
Tell you what, sat here freezing my balls off. Shall I turn my fan off? Fuck, that's cool. I'm sat here freezing to death. I think I need to go to the loo-be-loo. I'm just going to pause this, guys, get myself a... Oh, I actually got water. I'll settle for water. So just bear with. And get a drink. I mean, not a drink, a piss. But look, it just like people talking all the bloody time. If I'm not mistaken, Para, there's a video from... It might be PlayStation Access or IGN. I think they're playing the first 10 minutes of it I've seen tonight. Might be wrong, but I'd give it a double check. Back in 2 secs, guys. Back, as you can see, with one of my very big bad habits. Dark mint Kit Kat. Just had to be done. Sorry. I think I could sit and smell these for longer than I eat them. So you're going to have to bear with me chomping on a dark Kit Kat. So there you go. Fucking hell. These are God. Dark mint Kit Kat. Is there anything finer? By the way, I've just noticed something on this map in the middle of this game. I've got 1 of 18 of whatever they are in that map. I've got 1 of 51, or in total it is. So in all this time I've been playing, I've got 1 of whatever I'm supposed to be getting. Jesus fuck. No, because Ricky was coming this week, I've packed all the stuff away for now because I'm struggling on room. I will probably, when Ricky's been and gone in the next 2 days, tomorrow and stuff, I'll probably attempt to get a stream up this weekend on the PlayStation just to do a test. Sure, I've been fucking here before. I have, it's put me right back again. I must say the fucking save points of this are a bit shit. I guess the trick is not to fucking die. We're back here, look. You lucky twat. I think the Elgato stream should work fine when I get it back up again because it's virtually sorted now.
Oh, that was easy peasy lemon squeezy. The natives just couldn't take the vision I had for this place, so burn, baby, burn.
You won't get away with this.
Watch me.
Whoa, we've moved into the snow area. Woohoo!
This is a teleportation station. Activating them will let you teleport between other
No, you won't
activated
have to,
terminals.
Para. That's one thing you don't have to. The only thing is you'll have to swap HDMI cables. But you've got to think that when you tape with an Elgato, there's no restrictions. When I go back to my front end of my machine on PlayStation, I can just change games. Christ, I've got a feeling this game's really big. So that's where I am right now. That's the gate that I did the switches, and then that's the beginning when I first got here. There's a shitload, isn't there? And there's a spaceship up here, look. Pretty big and pretty deep, even though it is a little bit samey, obviously, but it's...
I should have brought my winter plumage.
Well, I won't worry you, fucking bird, because you've done fuck all so far. You can go back to where you come from if you want for me, because you've done naff all. You bastard. Oh, you're taking the fucking piss. I killed him. I think I might take a break on this. It's alright, it's not a bad little game. It's not a game that I think that would intrigue me to get right to the end. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's not put me in a bad place though. But I'm going to have it. There's only 9 people in the room. It's a bit of a shame. What time is it? We're getting on for... Oh, I've got my phone now. I can look at the clock. Look at all the things sticking to my sticky fucking cover. That's only trouble with it. Oh, I've got the lock screen. Why have I got the lock screen on now then? Do 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 do. I'm just checking, see if I've got any. Any of you guys getting Tekken 7? I saw a clip of a video today on YouTube that has actually said it's got a VR section in it. Any of you knew about that? Because I have to say I didn't. I didn't. So you're not interested in the Marvel fighting one instead? Is it Injustice? It's called. You're not interested in that one, Power, instead of Tekken? Been playing Forza. Got to say these driver tours are accurate. Why, have you met mine? You've seen mine, haven't you? You've met mine on there, I bet. Don't. If you ever see my driver tour on that game, steer clear. Because I drive like a lunatic. I don't give a shit. It's to the front or no way. Yeah. Lose and complain about the control. You get lost. I'm getting some hassle tonight, aren't I? It's pick on me day today then. It's nothing new. I think, to be honest, it's like movies, isn't it? It's like summer blockbusters. You get 2 of the same type of game coming out at the same time, like you do movies. I think you're all right. I think both games have been getting pretty good feedback, but I don't like fighting games. I just don't see any longevity in the game at all. Just like a 10-minute. Might hurt. Ricky messaged me earlier and said that he's got into, my crime channel that I tell you guys all about, 553 on Sky. He's told me today he's got a bit hooked on it, which is, I don't blame him. Although I've not watched it today. I've not done a great deal with TV and stuff today. It's been a bit of a weird day today. Fancied putting the PlayStation on a bit earlier than normal. Yeah, evening, Mark. I was on pretty early tonight, mate. I was just saying I've had a strange day today. Still not done my unboxing on my gadget yet, have I? I must do that tomorrow, but then again, Rick is here, so I'll leave that till probably... Oh, I could do it before he gets here, I think. And I've got my filament arriving tomorrow, so I can carry on with my 3D Star-Lord gun. That should be finished in a couple of days. Wish this pain in my throat if my mouth would go though. You're kidding me? Played Last of Us 3 times. That is a long game to go through 3 times. Definitely a long game. Did it? The first part. It's because it was one of the barrels and it went a little bit pointy. I didn't really notice that. All you guys seem to know that, notice all that stuff. Toz, what's the best racing game you've played and why? Colin McRae Rally 2. Way back in the day, and the simple answer is it had the best control system, period, which in my opinion has never been equalled today. For a rally game, and I'm talking, don't forget it was a rally game. It was just the first one that Codemasters did that was proper, and it worked on the surfaces. When you got on gravel, it felt like it was on gravel. When you was on road, it felt like it was on road, and it was that accurate. The control of it was just second to none. It's probably the driving game that got me into driving games, to be fair. And I think somewhere tucked away, I've still got it on a PC somewhere. But I love it, absolutely love it. Colin McRae Rally 2. When rally games were proper. I am now, Paris, since you pointed me in the right direction. I'd got rally in my head. And I'd never even looked at it or thought about it. And I completely didn't realise it was a proper dirt game again. I'd just got the last... In fact, the weird thinking behind it was when I saw it, I thought, it's not long since the last one came out. But that was Dirt Rally, like you say. And I'm going to watch, after this stream tonight, I'm going to get my coffee, feet up, and on my YouTubes, I'm actually going to watch some Dirt 4 videos, I think, because I've literally not looked at them because I'd just got it set in my head. It was following on from the Rally one, last one, that was like one of the hardest games in the bloody world. In fact, that game was that hard, it made me laugh. That was so hard. On the PC it was hard. Then they dumbed it down for the PlayStation, but then it still got daft. You've got the full setup, have you? Have you heard they've not mentioned any VR on the Dirt 4 then at all? Because they've done so well. And I tell you what I'm pissed about. I meant to tell you this, you guys. Kind of ties into what we said before. You know, I've always said on the show in the last month, so I've got the code for VR, Dirt Rally VR. I got that sent me for a review. Lost the code. Lost the fucking code. Can't find it. Can't find it in my inbox. Don't know where it is. And I never pushed it into the system. Which is sacrilege. One, because whenever I get a review code, I normally put it in straight away so I don't forget. And two, it's one of my favourite genres, and I'm so pissed that I lost the bastard code. And I've looked throughout my history and everything, and I can't find it. I'm so pissed at that as well. Because I saw a video the other day, actually, of, I think, one of the... It might have been PlayStation Access guys talking about the VR when they was talking about this one, and everybody said it was fantastic. And not one of them mentioned it was like a bit sicky or squiffy, which made me even want to try it even more. That reminds me, if I get Rickster on the old VR tomorrow, I'm gonna put. I think I might put a bit of Drive Club VR on for him and let him have a drive. First Tomb Raider, all Tomb Raider, one of my favourite genres. Skylar and Plux is on PSN Plus offer, $7.79. Thank you, Carl. God, it's got to be worth £7.80 of anybody's money. New game out on Xbox, bought it today, not played it, Tokyo 42. Have a look on YouTube. Lots of people have been messaging me about Tokyo 42, Mark. Quite a few people in the last week or so to tell me to take a look at it. Is it Xbox only, though? Because if it is, that's me spooked. Innit? That's me done. Still weird that I don't own an Xbox, you know that, don't you? Like I've said on the show, it's the first modern generation console that I have ever got rid of. Ever. In 40 years of video gaming, I have never had a modern console sold or got rid of while it's in its current generation. Ever. Kind of speaks volumes in my eyes, to be fair. You lot don't agree probably, but I do. I do. I'm sorry to say. Almost bought an... Parra, you're not on your own, mate. I nearly did. I was actually... Me and Ricky was online about to put the... I love my Kindle. I love my Kindle. It's one of the best fucking gadgets ever. And in fact, I'm going to read that tonight because that's a good book. And I'm 20% in it. I'm on this. Right. In fact, I'll leave that out so it reminds me. Right now, it's possibly with timed exclusives. Thought you was picking up a cheap one. Game is $15 by the top. Thing is, you say a cheap one, Mark. I'll give you an example. Cranky Gamer offered me one, second hand for 140. That's about the current price they're running for in the second hand places like CEX or Game. So 140, 150 quid. And then I got that offer from Shop2 2 days ago where it was a great offer, by the way. Xbox One S, Gears 4, Halo Wars 2, which I've not played and I want to play because I like them. 3 months Xbox Gold. And one other game for 199 quid. And that's the one I nearly bought when Paris just said he nearly bought one. But then at the last minute, I actually sat there and said to Ricky, because we was on Skype, and I said... Let me just ask a question. I get this today. It gets here tomorrow. I undo. It might be still on there. Might be still on Shop too. It's a great deal. So I was like sitting there saying, I get this tomorrow. I unbox it. Really look nice. Set it all up. Put it on my table. Set it all up. What do I play on it? And that's what I was thinking. It's not me having a dig either. It's me thinking, can I warrant chucking 200 quid at an Xbox One S to then sit there and keep playing this? Because it kind of hits home that I've got a Switch there for the show, and I've played that a handful of times. So... I mean, that was my way of thinking as well. I kept asking myself, what is the thing that's going to say to me, right, chuck 150 for a second hand or chuck a 200 at a brand new S to then do what? Is there something there that's going to make me say, right, I need to get that, I need to play it, bang. Could you stream Xbox now with your new gear if you get one? Well, I can stream Xbox anyway because they've got Twitch. That's exactly what I thought, Para, as well, mate, because I said as well at the same time, I said, that 200 quid, what happens if we get 6 months down the line and they want 500 odd for the Scorpio? It's going to be a decision that I have to think to myself, well, wait a minute. And I'll tell you something as well, and is this an argument or not? when we get the price of the Xbox Scorpio, whether it's going to be 400, 450, 500, or God forbid, even higher, you've surely got to ask yourself this time for the first time, can I warrant spending that much money on a console to do what? My question to myself is going to be, okay, £450, £500, I'm buying this for the show, obviously, and then, but what am I going to play on it? And for the first time, I'm going to ask myself that question. And if the answer coming back isn't a good list of saying, yep, can't wait for that, yep, brilliant, yep, right, I'll get one. If it's 500 quid and then go, maybe that's not out for another 8 months, well, maybe that, if it's that kind of talk, no, well, do you think Microsoft will pull VR out at E3? No, I'll honestly, if you want to hear me piss and moan like you've never heard me piss and moan ever before, ever, if they drop a VR unit on that machine at the same time as they're telling us about it and the stuff that's coming on it and the price, I will lose my shit. They need to concentrate on one thing and one thing only. They'll have some games, maybe not lots, but maybe good for you to have a One S to see as it's a second console. Yeah, probably so, Mark, I agree. And plus, me and Ricky consoles share anyway, so we share all our titles for the show, so we kind of get to review a lot more stuff. And there's another point, Carl, you've just hit the nail bang on the head, mate, that nobody said. What happens if a Vita 2.0 is announced at E3, which is virtually the biggest rumoured news flying about at the minute, and we've all heard the PS5 news. Alright, that's quite a way down the line. This brings us back full circle, don't it, to all what people started losing the shit about when Sony announced the Pro. Are we now heading into a console generation where we're having to be buying brand new consoles every couple of years, like phones? Gamers ain't going to take too kindly for that, because it falls under this kind of criteria as well. A phone, if we're being honest, a phone is kind of an essential thing for everybody to have nowadays. It's to be in touch with family. It's modern, it's a device that most people, you even want your kids to have a phone today for safety. So a mobile phone is a purchase that kind of makes value sense. When we get to a point where you've got to convince your wife or your missus, oh, by the way, I need 500 quid for a Scorpio. Oh, hold on. There's a 2.0 Vita. That's another 250 quid. And in a couple of months' time, I'm going to need another 400, 500 for the PS5. Then you're moving on to ground that every last one of you is going to sit back and think, whoa, fucking hang 5. And I think for the first time, we are heading down a road where, for the first time, nearly every gamer is going to have to ask themselves questions of what do you want to play. Let's be honest, consoles nowadays are quite affordable, second-hand they're quite affordable. I'm not saying you're getting them day one, you don't, but in time periods they're quite affordable second-hand, so most people can afford, the consoles that they're interested in. You fast forward a couple of months now or a year, are you going to have a fucking, what's it? I have 1200 video code. That's it. You're out the conversation, Para, because that is mad. I'd want that to be able to jump in bed with me for 1200 quid. No, and Carl, you're kind of like the average man in the street, mate, and it is, and I think we are heading towards that point of, for the first time in gaming history, we are all having to ask, can we afford this stuff they keep throwing at us? Because, like I said, it's not an essential like a phone. It's a pleasure. And there's no way you're convincing your missus you've got to buy 3 new fucking console hardwares, because they'll look at you gone out. Yeah, I mean the leaks, the Vita is, this is what E3 always is, Mark, but the Vita 2.0 last leak stuff I was reading about, that was kind of pretty whenever I hear rumoured stories, and the one I covered last time a few weeks ago or a few days ago was the PS5 story, okay? I don't just pick all the silly shit that's on the internet and go, oh yeah, look, Joe Blogs from Croydon has said, you know what I mean? You know, that could be any shit. Going back to the one about the PS5, I then went and researched it, and I found out very quickly that the guy who posted the piece of the PS5 stats and when it was coming is the exact same guy that posted PS2 specs and size and price 8 months before it come out. The PS3 was not even rumoured to be out or even being made. He posted a picture of its back end to show it had an HDMI cable 2 years before it came out. PS2 was exactly right. PS3 was exactly right. He also posted pictures on the design of the PlayStation. That was right. 6 months early. So that kind of rumour from a guy who's got everything spot on, they're the rumours that you actually take notice of. The Vita 2 was kind of like hit and miss until last week. There was a big piece that I think it read somebody'd seen an actual memo. So we shall see. Don't forget as well, there's something you all need to be realised about Sony as well. Sony don't get et up at announcing stuff as much at E3 as all the others do, for the simple reason they have got Tokyo Game Show, which clearly is their bread and butter because it's their own country, and then the new show in Las Vegas, that's kind of getting big ground. So they've got two actual bigger shows than they would class E3 as. So even if you don't get Vita 2.0 and you don't get any PS5, don't worry, you've got two more shows yet. Do you think Microsoft could sell a Scorpio with two top games pre-loaded, Forza and Crack, for 500? The console is going to be I honestly have said it for months. You know I have. I've always said it. It's going to be 500 quid. I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's less. If it comes back and they said it's 450, I will say, well done, Microsoft. You've managed to cut a chunk of money off. You're kind of pleasing your audience. That's a great move. If it comes out at 500 or more, I'm just going to sit there and look. I told you all this for months and months and months, so I have nothing to say on the price. That's just what it is. Yeah, I mean, Para's right about the power of the machines, but then again, and this is my kind of thought with this, Pat, and I know you're a PC guy, you've got all your top tech, so you're at the top end of the gaming, as we call master races, we'll have a little tongue-in-cheek say. Consoles have always been like that, though. Do you know what I mean? Consoles have always been just for the home, just to plug and play, and that's where we was for years and years and years. But for the first time ever, they're kind of wanting to dip the toes in the same pool as the big boys. Not only are they wanting to do that with the big boys, they're wanting to fucking charge us ridiculous money, and they're also wanting to be upgrading every couple of years. They can't do that. They can't take the actual whole synopsis of console gaming and turn it on its head. Because the closer they get to PC module, it's going to fuck it up for everybody. Somebody needs to grab these fuckers and say, listen, it's a console for the console market. Just put games on it. Make it as affordable as you can for the households, because that's what consoles are. This is why I'm a little bit scared for the Scorpio, because it's been said all along by Spencer and his buddies, it's for the hardcore gamers. Well, guess what? The real hardcore gamers aren't going to touch that with a barge pole, because they'll already have a fucking $2,000 PC. So I'm telling you now, I'm frightened for Microsoft. If they are pushing this for the hardcore gamers, it ain't going to work, because they're already up there with Para's $2,000 fucking PC. They're already there playing hardcore. Why would they want to spend another 500-600 quid on a console that's not as powerful as the thing they've got in the front room? That scares me. That scares me. No, Para's a PC expert. He's got all the top-end gear. He's talking from a PC point of view, and he's 100% spot on. 100% spot on. And like I've just said, they keep chucking the hardcore gamer word out there for the Scorpio. It's not even fucking close to the top end PC. Not even close. That's why I go back to keep saying that console market was made for the home. For the everyday gamer that didn't want to spend ridiculous amounts of money on the top end hardware. We wanted a box to plug into the fucking wall, plug a game in, a disc, a cartridge, turn it on and play decent games. But what's happening? The people in charge of the big guys, your Sonys and your Microsoft, for some fucking reason, want to take us down an avenue that's trying to push towards PC. It's a very strange thing to do. It's a stupid thing to do because it's something they'll never be able to compete with. Am I saying... No, I'm not saying the PS4's not got enough power. The PS4's got enough power for this console generation. Don't forget. And this is what I'm trying to get... These consoles now are fine because they was for this console generation. What I'm more scared of is Xbox and Microsoft are taking us to a place where they can't help but tell us... I'll tell you what, and this will prove a point. Take it how you want. And whether you... I don't know if Parallel agree with me or not. But put it this way. When was the last time in the last 25, 30 years did you ever hear a console manufacturer come out with the fucking specs of the machine to such an extent that people were actually waiting for a fucking keynote about it? Never, ever, ever, ever has anybody give a fuck about what is inside that machine. Ever. Until now. Because you've got Microsoft going, no, 6 fucking belly flops, and then Sony have jumped on the bandwagon 6 months later, well, the PS5 is going to have fucking 8 belly flops. And we're on that. That's the thing. That's the plane I'm talking about. That is a dangerous fucking place to go. Because it brings us into the criteria of this place we're going to be in, where it ain't going to be cheap anymore. That's what scares me. For some reason, console manufacturers have now got it in the head they want to keep fucking pushing and pushing and pushing. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like, you're talking there, guys, amongst yourself about what's happening. It is. It's crazy. It's heading down a road that's just madness. We never did that as console gamers. I've been a console gamer for 40 fucking years. We've never ever done that. Yes, we used to like looking at whatever. Oh, look, it looks better than the previous one. And that's all we gave a shit about. We did. So what? Fucking hell. The PS1, the PS2 looks the bollocks. Brilliant. FMV video, look at this. We're great. Again, moving on. We just like the next gen. But this time... they're all bothered about how powerful it is. Why? We've never been in that score before. No, we're not saying that. We're not making that point, Shindo. We're not saying they're underpowered. I've never mentioned that these are underpowered. I've mentioned that the Xbox One was underpowered compared to the PS4 because it was. What I'm saying is, and that's the kind of mistake that was made by Microsoft. You see, think about it this way as well, okay? Think about it this way, and this kind of points it to what Carl's just brought up about the 16-bit era. Put it this way. If Xbox One would have been exactly the same power as PS4, and I mean exactly, we'd have had none of this bollocks that we got for the first 2 years of its life. How sick did you get of every, especially if you're an Xbox fan, and you only owned an Xbox, how sick did you get where every single fucking game that came out on the Xbox, the first questions that were asked, it's running at 920, at 6, at 30. That's the point at where this all changed. If they'd have been the same power, I don't think we'd have gone down this route with the Scorpio as bad as we are doing. I think, yes, Microsoft might have had a new console in the works, as would have Sony, but I don't think all this talk about flops and fucking what have you would have given a shit, because we never did. It's the fact that the Xbox One was slightly underpowered, and because they came out at the same time, the fanboys wanted to jump on the slightest problem, and the slightest problem was the easiest thing to attack. And the easiest thing to attack was that one was running less powerful than that one. And that kind of set the premise for the press, for the internet, for YouTube, for the next fucking 12 months. And that was the first time all this went stupid. And that's where it come from. Yeah, AMD are in trouble. Yeah, I've read them pieces as well. Nvidia's been leading for a while, though, haven't they? Yeah, Nvidia have been leading the market share for quite a while. That doesn't surprise me about AMD at all. At all. How many people in this room think, hand on heart, serious, and I don't mean what you want it to be. How many people in this room, hand on heart, think the Scorpio is going to be under 450 quid? Just answer that for a bit of a chat in the room. How many of you think that the Scorpio will be announced under 450 quid? Do you honestly believe it's going to be 399, Para? Seriously, I've only just seen that. Honestly, is that not a fucking chance, surely? You all, a couple of you are saying 399. Don't matter if they want to catch up. I don't think they can afford to do that. But we got into this chat the other week, so we'll be going over old ground. 499 with 12 months gold. Yeah, that could be a good push. I do believe, and you guys are kind of touching on it, but has this ever been done before? I think Microsoft are more susceptible to do it than Sony. They kind of do like throwing things in. That's why they make loads of SKUs every 5 minutes. Like there's 4 SKUs after a fucking, like after a month. If it's higher than 400 quid, they're done. It's gonna be more than 400 quid. The old one, the last gen was up to 380, weren't they? When they first came out. There's no way it's going to be less than 400 quid. I honestly believe it's going to be 499. That's my figure. If I'm pushed now to a question, I think it's 499. And not only do I think it's going to be 499, and I'm adding a premise on the end, I think it's going to be 499 in this country, don't forget. Let's not do dollars. I think it's going to be 499 in this country. And with a caveat of saying, I don't think I'd be that fucking surprised if it was more. Yeah, but Connect was a bullshit thing, wasn't it? Let's not even go there. But I honestly, I'm saying 499, and I would not bat an eyelid if it was more. I'd actually sit there and go, well, yeah, okay. Been saying that for ages, because I go back to if you're saying 399, pal, let's put this into the chat. If you're saying 399, they're forever spouting that it's like for the hardcore gamer. I don't think they'd use that kind of premise and that kind of chat if it was going to be around about the same price as all the other consoles. There's no need to call it that. Because whenever they was pressed for price or for whatever, they always used to say it was for hardcore gamers. I don't think they need to use that wording. If the machine's going to be 400 quid, then you kind of... And this is what I've always said as well. If you're Microsoft now, you surely know the price point now. Okay? Because it must be getting close to manufacturing. If not, it's already started. Okay? So if you're on that score and you know that price, why aren't you standing on the rooftops and swinging your dick everywhere and saying it to everybody? Because I can assure you now, if you already know you're going to sell that Scorpio at 400 quid or less, I'd have that on a fucking billboard. Now. I honestly would have that on a giant fucking billboard in LA. Scorpio November fucking 399. I'd have it now. Don't forget they own the new AMD, the AMD node, which got pretty good yield, so I don't think it'll be inexpensive. Do you think so? Yeah, but why do they keep telling us it's going to be expensive? All their chat has always been, it's going to be expensive. I don't understand the wording if it's going to be a normal price. Because every interview you've ever seen is them saying it's going to be for hardcore gamers. You know, and they do, and they say that word. They say it's going to be for hardcore gamers. It's going to be, and I kind of see that as a trying to soften you up. Because if it was going to be 399 or 400 quid, then they wouldn't give a shit, would they? Yeah, but no console's been sub 300 in the last 15 years, has it? And they never called any of the other consoles hardcore gaming consoles, did they? Whenever, all I've seen is whenever they've been pressed for specs, price and what have you, they've said, well, just this is going to be for hardcore gamers. Basically softening the blow to say, well, look, when it comes out at 500 quid, don't be surprised, because it's the best out there. I don't think they say that if it's 300 quid or 400. You'd be saying words like, well, we will find out in 2 weeks, you're right. But surely they'd be saying words like, oh, this is going to be one of the best competitive price consoles for its power in the current generation. That's the kind of wording that Phil Spencer would have been using. Would he not? Just my thoughts. But if you, because they've got to know the price now. They're not going to be plucking it out the air in less than 2 months. So they've got to know that price. So he ain't sitting there saying hardcore if it's fucking cheap. Like Paris says, I think we will. Wait, actually, I asked this question when there was only 4 or 5 in the room. So while we're on this chat then, let me throw this question out to you guys. That's now there's more in. Do you guys think they'll announce price and date next week? I don't think they will. I've got a funny feeling they ain't going to name price or date next week. I don't know why. Do you guys think they're going to? I don't. I really don't. You think that's 1 for yes. 2 for yes. So all you guys are thinking now, yes, they're going to announce the price and date. Both of them. Price and date. Because it's always been, well, the date's pretty set in concrete, isn't it? Because Microsoft have always had the console release at November. It's always done it for the last God knows how many times. So I think we can take it as written, it's going to be November. Unless they have manufacturing or production problems. What do you think it's going to look like? Do you think they're going to stick to a similar design as the Xbox One S? Do you guys like... Double-barreled question, but do you guys like the boxy look? Or do you like the more... look of the PlayStation with its bit of, you know, bit of curves, bit of edges, bit of different kind of thing? Are we thinking it's going to be just a chunky box again? Yeah, it probably will. Probably will, Mark. You mean like the first Xbox One out, the Xbox One that come out? And I mean this generation's, not the original Xbox One. It could look like a brick if it'll run Crysis 60 frames per second. Let me ask you a question then. Another one. What about... Do we think it's going to be... What's it going to be called? Nobody's even mentioned that yet. Everybody's that et up about specs and price. Not a fucker's even commented on what it's going to be called. So what's it going to be called? Let's have some guesses at that one. Betamax will win. Yeah, I had a neighbour that went Betamax. And let me tell you now, by the way, the Betamax machine actually looked better than the VHS because they were fucking smaller. His Betamax looked way better than my dad's VHS. Xbox Zero. I prefer the sleekness of the PlayStation. Yeah, I do. I like the lines of the PlayStation. Xbox Zero. Good name. Good name. Xbox brand, go all Apple on us. Oh my god, Xbox Elite. Yeah, but they've had an Elite name, haven't they? So, it's... Yeah, they've had... I mean, what about just calling it Xbox? Do you know when they changed it? Do you know when they called the Xbox One S? Did the S actually stand for anything specific? Knowing Microsoft, they'll call it something really stupid. You know that, don't you? To like link with its power. You do know I've got that idea in my head. You know, because it's like the power fucking shit. So what are the... I think they're going to give it a name with some like fucking stupid name. So the GPU is based on the RX 488 gig, which retails for $250. So the GPU in the machine is £250 fucking pound now. I've been telling you guys that the parts inside it are dear, and they are. So are you seriously telling me then, if that's what you're talking about, Paris, so the GPU inside the Xbox Scorpio now is 250 quid in value? Yeah? Around. We know that they're going to get an undercut price because they're going to make loads of them. But are you lot really thinking they're going to be able to sell that then for another 150 quid more for what else is inside it? Isn't the RAM inside it worth probably that much on its own? At retail it is, so cost to man will be perhaps half or 2/3, yeah? So then, what about all the other shit? The RAM, I think, it costs a bastard fortune, don't it? I think that's the bit I read. The last time I read up on how much it was going to cost internally. The GPU was expensive, which you've just said. The RAM, I think, is really expensive. But you also told me, didn't you say... Because I was surprised when you told me, I think you told me privately, that the cooling was going to be cheaper. Cheaper than I thought it was. Because they've got some snazzy inbuilt cooling this time, haven't they? I just thought that would have put a lot more money on top of it, to be honest. Oh, RAM is included in that cost. Sorry. GDR6, I think. So what about the cooling? Well, really? Are you seriously? I thought that was going to cost a fortune. Is it reliable? Did not you tell me in the next breath it's not very reliable? Because you surprised me with that one as well. The cooling system they're planning on using in it isn't very reliable, you said, I think, if I remember rightly. Because that's the last thing they'd want to happen. Imagine if it all went tits up. You guys are trying to break the price down here to get it to under 400 quid, aren't you? But if you go and buy that train of thought, guys, you might as well just The vapour leaks over time, but I doubt it'll cause an issue. Oh, right. So you guys are trying to push it under 350 then with the parts. But let me just put this to you then. So how much is the value of parts in a PS4 right now? Because I'll just do it. It's not trying to be funny, but what I'm saying is the parts inside the PS4 are probably the same equivalent to what this is. This fucking thing's still 330 quid to buy. What you're quoting, though, Para, is actually what Microsoft are going to build. That's what it's going to cost them to build it. We all know that they don't push it out at that, though, don't we? That's my... Yeah, I think you're right. You're obviously right. That's the kind of cost they're going to buy. But no console company ever brings a console out at cost price. Never have done. Can you remember the PS3? Can you remember the PS3 debacle at $600? That went down like a lead fucking balloon. It did. Can't you remember that? That went down like a lead balloon and led it to where it went really downhill. You guys are all... You're clutching at straws. You all think the Scorpio is going to be around 350 quid. Okay. So what happened? Right, okay. I'll play devil's advocate, like the question. So what happened to the $600 PlayStation 3? Back in the day. And didn't they actually come out and say, by the way, and I'm sure this was said, didn't the PlayStation 3 came out at a loss? So just put that back in your minds. The PlayStation 3 was $600 that Sony sold it for, and they actually, yeah, they made a loss on it. So what I'm saying is, go back to logic thinking. It was kind of a console that was ahead of its generation, or Sony would have make us believe. They sold that at a loss at $600. So how much was that worth? I can't see the Scorpio being 400 quid. That's the kind of thing I'm going on. Just done a nice just writing a reply to an email from Nintendo console PR. Trying to Microsoft make business model to make... Yeah, we all know that. I missed that one. What's the one above Mark's thing with the 9 something out below? Let me just write this email. The word I'm looking for. Can't wait for the Toz gloat session when the Scorpio. Oh, you wait. You might as well not bother listening to the show. And let me tell you, boys and girls, if it's over 500 quid, you better not tune in the next week's show. If it comes out at over 500 quid, I shall just laugh and smile. I will. In all seriousness, I think it's going to be... Honestly, I think it's going to be at least 450. And I tell you what I was saying now. It's obviously going to be in dollars, isn't it? They're going to come on and quote the dollars. I think what they might do there, I might actually think it'll go at $499. If it's... Gypsy, if it's near 500, mate, I'll have to think it's seriously and hard. If it comes out higher than 500, I'll buy one and wear it as a hat. And I'm telling you now, that is going to happen, that picture. You know that. If there's no problem, if not. 1 second, guys. Just got an important email to write. Can't even spell my own address right. Jesus Christ. God, run chat's been a great. It has been a good chat as always, because I'm going to be calling it night. It's over 3 hours, and I think we're getting on. It's what? I know it's only 10:30, but I was on a lot earlier. So, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a night and catch up with some telly. I think. Do I think it will have a 4K player in it? I'll be surprised if it's not, because they've already got one, haven't they? And I think if they've still got a deal struck with whoever the people that get them off, then yeah, I can't see them not having a UHD player in it. But don't forget that adds a bit more money onto it. That's another point in question, don't forget. It adds cost. Do I think there will only be games only machine for that box? Do you mean no drive? I don't think they will do a drive. I mean, I don't think they'll go non-drive. They made that kind of silly suggestion for the last one, didn't they? And it went down like an absolute fucking proper lead balloon. Yeah, the cost of a UHD drive in it's going to put at least 80 to 100 quid on it. And that's why Sony didn't put their in. All this speculation, and we'll know in about a week and a half, won't we? And everybody can sit and gloat and say, I told you so, or I told you it was only going to be 350 quid. I told you it was going to be 500 and 600 quid. Breaking news, Xbox Scorpio coming out, £699. With all its belly flops and liquid cooling and top quality RAM. $699. Cheaper at half the price. Yeah, I think this E3 is going to be an absolute cracker. Can't wait. By the way, excuse me for yawning, I forgot to mention, I'd joined a games rental company for a trial yesterday. Not Boomerang. I wouldn't touch them since the other stuff that went off. But get this, very weird. These are called Paramount Games. If you look on Twitter, they do a lot on there. If you go to paramountgames.co.uk, and I don't get not any affiliates or anything, it's just me personally trying it to just have a look at it. You get free 14 days. So I signed up, and I've signed up for a package that's $12.99 a month called I can't remember what Gold package. Gives you 2 games of any format for as long as you want. But it also contains a special box every month, and the box is a box of treats. Like, they expect a gamer to be some fat, sad git well, like me, that wants to sit and eat a box of treats, and there's like Cadbury's Fingers and Kit Kats and Skittles and popcorn and an energy drink in it, and you get one of them a month, part of the package. Quite a nice touch, bit weird, bit strange. They do all of the packages. However, signed up for it. I've got my game coming tomorrow. I've got Mafia 3 coming for this, so I might be on Mafia 3 tomorrow night for a bit of a stream. So, but the weird thing is, and get this, and this is kind of putting me off. I was going to keep it for a couple of months to test it, but something's putting me off. So I was on the site, signed up, got the email, thank you very much. And then I'm looking, I click the games and think, right, what am I going to add to my, what am I going to add? And I'll have a look at what's anything on the 3DS I might fancy playing, or I was nearly said Xbox then, or on the Switch, because they do Switch as well. So I'm looking, and as I'm on the site, I'm thinking, okay, and I'm like, look, and then I think to myself, where do I put my games? Where do I put my list of games that I want to rent? And I'm looking, and I can't find anything, and I'm going to the home page, and I'm like going to the other bits, and I'm thinking, where do I put my games? There was a games section, clicked it, all the consoles, clicked it, opens a massive page of all this shitload of games. You tap the game, it opens a picture, tells you about the game, nothing. And I'm thinking, so then I go back on Twitter and I see the guys there, and I tweet him and I said, can you tell me how I've just joined you guys for 2 weeks trial, gonna try it for the podcast, so I've got more games to talk about. Can you tell me how I add my games to my list? And get this, they don't do a list. They don't do an account or a list for security reasons. The way that you let them know what games you want is 2 ways. You have to write them a bloody email with the list of games, or you can Snapchat, not Snapchat, you can WhatsApp and tell them what game you want. And I'm like thinking, what the fuck is all that about? I get the security, I get that you don't want to do this, but you've got to have some online presence to put your game list on. Because I'll tell you now, I'll have that for 2 weeks, it'll be gone. Not bothered. There's no way I'm having a rental site where I've got to fanny about with an email every so often to go and look at the games on their site, to then pick ones what I want, to then write a fucking email to send it to them. What the fuck? It's a shame, because the site looks great. I've seen a couple of good tweets from people that do it. They look really legit and really fucking good, but what the fuck? Yeah, go and check them out, guys. Go and have a look. ParamountRentals.co.uk. And I've signed up. My first game's coming tomorrow. I ain't writing another fucking... I cannot be bothered. What the fuck? It's a crazy way of doing it. And they messaged me back on Twitter. Oh, yes, we don't do this. We do either WhatsApp or an email. And I went... And I wrote back and went... Sorry, guys. You look a really good site and thing. I said, well, I'll tell you now... honestly cannot see me continuing after the trial, because I can't be arsed doing that. Just mad. You guys go and have a look. They do some good prices and some good offers. It's a really good site. It's such a shame that it's let down by that. It is such a damn shame. In fact, I must remember to cancel that after 2 weeks, because like I said at the top of this stream, I'm a bit short this month and I can't afford that to bounce out. Anyway, I'm going to get off, guys. We've had a good chat this evening on the E3. E3 always brings up some good chat, you know it does. As mentioned on this week's show, by the way, I'm in a bit of a dilemma, as you guys know. We've got the Microsoft event on the Sunday. We'll also have the EA event. We probably can talk... I'll tell you what will probably happen. The EA event on the Saturday, I'll probably have a stream and we'll talk about that one. Because it's not really important. It's not going to be massive, but it's not going to give too much away. What I don't want to do, I'm obviously going to watch the Microsoft keynote on it. Now, if I have a stream on that night, which I probably won't because it'll be a show night. Oh, no, we're not recording on that night. Oh, we have said. Yeah, that's the thing. If I have a stream, you guys are going to be pumping this room to be either gloating about what we've just said, oh my God, it's 350 quid, la-di-da-di-da, or it's 500 quid or whatever. we're all going to come in the room. You're all going to be panning it and saying, oh my God, what about this? What about that? And I don't want to sit in a stream and talk about all the keynote when I've got all my prep and all my notes and setting it up for the podcast of that week. So it'll be whatever. I will get the Elgato on the PS4 later this week when Ricky's coming to the house tomorrow. We're planning on VR for a bit of a laugh. And I have to clear the room, so I've packed all that away again. I'll get it all out again next week. Might even do some VR so you can have the camera looking at my head with my stupid mask on. God knows why. You'll probably see me going out of shot and everything. But yeah. But as regarding the E3 stuff, I'm more than likely, and don't be surprised even if I don't stream from the Sunday to the Wednesday, just purely so I'm not talking about it. And then what I'll do, obviously what my plan, after we do the show on Wednesday and do the E3 one, I will probably come on Wednesday night after the show and then I'll talk. And you can ask any question and throw everything at me that you want to throw. Okay. Yeah, I will be on here probably Wednesday night late. Because we'll probably record a show at about 7 o'clock as normal time. So I'll be finished at the podcast about 10:30, 11:15. I'll probably edit it within an hour, get that up. I'll probably be streaming late Wednesday night, 11, 12, midnight-ish. Or I might leave it until Thursday and come on early and let's have a big chat about it. But obviously, guys, if you're going to come on and chat on the Thursday, it would be good if you've listened to the show as well, because it'll kind of ruin the show for you as well. If I come on here, then on the stream and talk about what we've all been said, you're not going to enjoy the show as much, are you? So we shall see. All in all, it's going to be damn exciting. I think is the best thing we can talk about. Who's going to be right? Who's going to be wrong? I think the bottom line, though, guys, whichever way it goes, and I know it's only a bit of banter and a bit of fun, we're all entitled to our opinions. We're all entitled to, you guys saying you think it's going to be 350, and I'm entitled to say I think it's going to be 500 quid. Whoever's right, whoever's wrong, it's all opinions, and I think the bottom line of it all, let's just all hope that it's a really good show, great stuff coming out, and we're all happy at what's coming out. Bound to be a couple of shit points, but there's bound to be some shit hot points. None more so than changing your name on PlayStation. That is going to be the drop the mic stealing the show moment, in my opinion. Holy shit, we can change his name on the PlayStation. I think that would, honestly, I started talking about it earlier tonight, but I actually think that would be very well received. And I think in all the big podcasts adding up and saying, what was your highlight of this year's show? I think a lot of people might actually say, I could change my name. We shall see. This controller wants cleaning. It's in a disgusting state. It's in a disgusting, horrible state. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off. I'm getting a bit knackered. It's hard yakking for 3 hours. I know I do it nearly every night. I don't know. I'm quite surprised I keep these streams up, by the way. Hope you guys aren't getting bored of them. I mean, to be honest, it's the same people in there. I'd like to see a few more entering and join. I'll tell you something, though, guys. I've touched on this before. What's really great to see, the numbers on the views of these are quite high, which is really weird and really strange. So all you guys that are watching this now on replay, thank you. Don't forget to click the like button, because there's like 340, 350 people watched last night's stream. But there's like 7 or 8 likes. It's like, you're watching it. You're actually watching the stream. You've added to the number. You've literally got to move your finger and just go, boom. On your phone, on your laptop, or on your computer. Do you know what I mean? Even you guys have got to find that funny. You go and look at the numbers of last night's video. And the views, I think, this afternoon was about 320, I think. And the likes was about 8. Go figure. How does that work? And what that does, guys, if you don't know, and I'm not trying to push it, it's not about money. Because I don't even go and monetize them until weeks after. which is stupid. What I'm saying is, the likes get that show on the front end of YouTube. So don't forget, when I keep saying to you guys, likes or whatever, it pushes it. Just, you know, like iTunes kind of works when you get a new podcast and it gets pushed to the front so everybody sees it and everybody goes, oh, I wonder what this is like. Oh, well, that's brilliant then. That's gone up then from this afternoon. That's pretty cool. But it's still, if you think about it, Mark, 22 from 350 people watching it. Kind of don't work out, does it? But you picture it, guys. And what I'm saying is, it's more for you and more for the room. Because if everybody that watched it liked it, it would get pushed to the front, which brings more people to it, more people to the show, more numbers for the room, and a better banter. So it is that vicious circle, and that's just what I can't get my head around. There's 350 people watch it, and you can't move your finger up back 2 inches to press a button. It's just there, I'm just throwing it out to you. Even at a point, if 350 are watching it, you'd expect at least half of them to like it. You know what I mean? I can understand it if you can't reach it, or you're watching it where you can't click the bloody button. You can even do it on your PlayStation with your controller. Did you know that? If you're watching YouTube on your PlayStation, you can just click up, down, more, like, and subscribe. Anyway, I've done moaning. I'm just making a point. I'm going to get a coffee. My coffee machine's not here for another week. That is a ball ache of epic proportion. Anyway, until tomorrow night, guys, which I more than likely might be streaming some Mafia 3. That'll get boring very quickly, except the music will be worth it all night, because the music is the bollocks in that game. Anyway, good night to you all. I really appreciate you guys every night. Without it, you don't keep me sane, you don't keep me alive, and I don't keep doing this shit. So I appreciate every last one of you, and I really mean that as well. So, until next time, I will see you. Good night, guys, and thank you as always. Good night.